Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Upcore UCL. It is time for the playoffs. We have four amazing teams for you today. I'm your host, Petacast, joined by the amazing AJ7. How are you doing today, AJ? This is your first cast, and this is your first cast alongside me. So, how are you doing today, AJ?
Oh, pretty great. Thanks for having me here. Yeah, it's pretty nice to be here, and I'm really excited to see what the new teams, will bring up on the table for us. And it's pretty underrated region, to be honest. And yeah, pretty
Yeah.
excited about it. And it's my first one, so yeah.
Indeed, we just had the Brawl Cup, which happened last week, and we didn't get the results that we were looking for. But obviously, that's because Sergeant Glash wasn't able to participate with Revenant Spark, and you had Zara actually from NA taking his place and ensuring that they had a fighting chance. And he did do valiantly, but it didn't work out in their favor. So hopefully, Sergeant doesn't, I guess, get in his feels and is hopeful for the second split, because I know that if he gets that visa, the Revenant Spark in this region is, something to look at, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate to see players not getting the visa, and Zaw was the one to replace Sergeant, and they couldn't put a great fight there, but they really did their best, and it was really nice to see, coming up from the region and getting a new team at the very last moment, and screaming, and it was heartbreaking to see Sergeant not getting it, but let's see what he got for the Upcore Champions League.
Exactly. We're going to have 2 amazing days of competition. It's going to be a double elimination bracket. So we have 4 teams here. Upcore Esports is going to be one of the teams participating today. And we have Revenant Spark, Monarchy, and Synchronic Gaming. And if you want more information about that, we do have some information on the chat for you that you can have a look at for getting up to date with everything. But first up on the docket, it's going to be Upcore Esports versus Revenant Spark. But before that, we can talk about how the teams got to this phase, and that would entail talking about the open qualifiers, the round robin stage, and finally coming to the playoff stage here, which it culminates in. So if we could actually show that would be great.
$2,000 on the line, and really, excited for the show that we're gonna see. Just waiting for it, and I just really want to jump in the first matchup. Honestly, really excited about that.
Indeed, and during the open qualifiers, we needed to get 8 teams to the round robin stage, and all of these 8 teams fought against each other to find out who the top 4 teams in the combined Southeast Asia and India region are. Obviously, we want to know who the best of the best teams are, and we finally do know it's going to be Upcore Esports, Revenant Spark, Monarchy, and Synchronic Gaming. And I don't think anybody's really surprised or confused by this expectation here. Like Synchronic Gaming, just look at them. They have Vex, Hiroshi, and Prime. Some of these players have been to many monthly finals in the combined region of APJ. They've won monthly finals as well. In Upcore Esports, you have Ash King, Prashant, and Yash, who are all great players. Some of them have managed to go to an LCQ and even participated at the Masters in Tokyo, I believe, in 2023. So a lot of players of repute. Revenant X Spark, we have Sergeant Clash, X9J Response, who are I think the overwhelming favorites to win this tournament. Honestly, it is an Upcore Esports tournament, but I have to be true to the plot. Let's say the script. So I'm looking forward to Revenant Spark really showing up, but they have also Monarchy to contend with as a possible scenario. And Monarchy have Shran, Captain Rocks, and Walkthrough. So amazing ensemble of teams here today, and I think it's going to be really great.
Yeah, there are a couple of players from a couple of teams here that have actually played LAN events a lot of times, including Sarge in Response Response being a world champion player from 2020. X9J has also played LCQ and a lot of LAM events. And also Sargent was there in the 2023 Brawl Stars World Championship along with Prashant. But they are in a different teams now. Prashant being in Upcore right now, and X9J was already a part of the team from Revenant, where he was playing with Response and Sargent. Sargent was also in Revenant Esports has been in Revenant for like 2 years now, and has been really showcasing his skills throughout the events. He's not able to manage to get to the LAN because of visa issues many times, but in the past he has a lot of experience when it comes to LAN.
Yeah, indeed. When it comes to Southeast Asia, it's a Response and Sarge, where it's synonymous with being the host in the region. But talk about the tournament format just a little bit more for more clarity. We had 4 days of open qualifiers, and each of these open qualifiers had a $500 prize pool along with crowdfunding on each of these qualifier days, which is amazing actually for this region. Then we had 7 days of round robin qualifiers, where not round robin qualifiers, but round robin phase, where we try to get the 8 teams for the open qualifiers. And now we're in the playoff stage, where we have a prize pool of $2,000, including excluding crowdfunding. So that's a pretty huge prize pool for this region. So there's a lot of money up for grabs for these teams here, and I think that they're waiting with bated breath to really flex their muscles in these matchups.
Yeah, I mean, $2,000 is a lot, and compared to that, not just that, keeping that aside, we have around $1,000 alongside that was with crowdfunding, and it's a lot. It's a breathtaking thing, and I know they're gonna do everything to get that prize money, that first place in this tournament that they have been fighting for weeks and weeks, and now that they're here for the final stage, and really excited to see how these players put up a show for us, and it will be really fun to see.
Indeed. And just looking at our brackets, unfortunately, it's not showing here just yet, but we'll get it up for you. First up on the docket, it's going to be Upcore Esports versus Revenant Spark. Then we have Monarchy versus Synchronic Gaming. And the agenda for today's match day is that we have to find at least one of the participants for the grand finals. That means we're going to have 2 of the upper bracket semifinals matches. Then the winners of those matches are going to go up against each other in the upper bracket final. The winner of that is going to go to the grand final. And at the end of the day, we'll know one grand finalist. We will know how our lower bracket semifinals looks like, and we will also know one of the teams that are there in the lower bracket final, which is basically how we're going to be capping off this series of competition here. So I think with this, it's a pretty clear picture of how things are going to be playing out for this competition here, AJ.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we can see Upcore versus Revenant, and we already getting to see the Spanger in the beginning itself. And what else you were waiting for? I was waiting for the Spanger for so long, because even during the round robin region, we didn't get to see this matchup because of, the team was not available, or, something like that. And now we have it for the first matchup itself, and it's going to be a banger. Then we have Monarchy, Captain Rocks, and that, and, Synchronic Gaming also manages to be here, part of the bracket, and really excited to see how this is gonna go, because Upcore and Revenant, my personal favorite, and I am ready to see how they brawl.
Indeed. And we have a set of different maps and game modes. We have Pinhole Punt, Sneaky Field, Super Beach, and Triple Dribble as a possible map pool for Brawl Ball. For Brawl Ball, yeah. So the way this is set up is that we have these different game modes, and within the game modes, it's going to be random. So the teams don't exactly know which maps they're going to be playing on this specific set. But, that little bit of chaos is what makes Upcore Esports and Upcore Champions League a different sort of ball game here. That unpredictability means that you have to prepare yourself for all sorts of scenarios with different drafts and different game modes and different maps, obviously.
Yeah, we have the sets now. We're gonna play Brawl Ball for the first set, and definitely my personal favorite game mode. And then we have Gem Grab. We have that, chaos when the gem drops and you just reset the countdown. It's going to be fun as well for the second set. There's going to be a third set just in case we go there, and it's going to be hot zone. We still don't know which maps we're going to face, and it's going to be very, interesting to see how it goes, because even teams are not well prepared with some specific maps, maybe because, they don't know which maps they're coming. So they didn't practice in general the specific maps, because it's going to be random and they don't even know which, it will be just like putting a random random ranked match, and you just get to see the map right away. And then we have Heist with the bounty is the last one. We already have the draft screen. What do you think of this so far?
I like the Hank. I love the Kenji. I think the Kenji is a really great pick all around. But just look at our bands. What is it? We have Lumi Band out along with Chester and Jay Young, and the other bands are going to be B along with Primo. Very interesting set of bands here. Response going to go for the Griff here as their second pick. I think Griff is a really solid pick all around on a map such as this, especially against the opposition here. It's going to break open the walls a little bit, or maybe keep them up. Once it gets this hypercharge, that purple button makes Griff such a menace to really deal with here. So I like this response to what they brought out against the Kenji. And in response, we see Upcore going for the Max as well here, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, Griff is a really great counter to Kenji sometimes. It's close range brawler, and Griff is just devastating when you face him in the close range. And the hypercharge that he got is just, it has a team fight potential, and, there's a Hank already. We're getting C. Max, I'm really not sure, but I think they're going to go with the tank last pick because it's a map where you need a tank. And yeah, there's going to be an Ash
right
coming
on
up.
the money.
And and as per I've seen their playstyle in the past, it's always Yash playing Ash mostly specifically, not just tank specifically, Ash specifically. So I think they're gonna switch at that. And Sergeant has the last picks. They're really curious to see what they're gonna go with. Is it gonna be a B because they still need a mid brawler, Hank and Griff being a lane brawler. So B is a pretty good one, and they can actually slow down. It's good counter. Let's see how it's gonna go. Oh wait,
yeah,
he has been banned. I just realized that. I'm sorry about that. And there's gonna be a second tank coming up for Revenant X Spark, and it's gonna be very interesting to see how they deal with that.
Yeah, it's going to be a different idea for both sides. Yes, there are double tanks, but you're going to have Upcore complementing their tank picks with the max. So the max speed against the unbridled damage coming out from both the tank, which is the Hank, and the Griff is something to contend with. Honestly, it's going to go down the wire. I like the speed from Upcore Esports, but I feel like the amount of damage potential that Revenant and Spark have is crazy. Upcore Esports are going to be on the top of your screen. Revenant and Spark are on the bottom.
Yeah, first interaction with the ball from Upcore's side, but there's a kill already for response on Prashant. It's not looking a great position for Ash King. He falls half HP low, but it's going to keep the ball behind to make some space for the teams, to come up. And Griff is actually forced to play mid because they don't really have a specific mid brawler. Oh, there's a kill. There's a team wipe actually, and Sergeant, but he responds and makes some space for this team.
Indeed, a great response from Sergeant to collect the ball, and now they have a little bit more control here. Even though they are pushed back into their spawn, it's not that bad. But hypercharge coming in from Kenji along with Yash as well. This is great. Complete team wipe. Ball is going to be passed from Yash to Ash King to Prashant, who are going to be able to slot this one in. And then a very early 1 minute game, we already have Upcore Esports on the board against Revenant Spark.
Beautiful play. I mean, the Hypercharge Max is also there now, providing some value and speed there to the team. The Ash Hypercharge baby was devastating there, and it was really nice to see. And the team vibe, led them to get the goal. It's not looking good as of now for Revenant. Nice positioning for UPC as of now. It's going to keep the ball in the corner to make some space and have that, survivability. And Sergeant with the slowdown has his super, pops it in. Hypercharge Ash coming in for the second time, gets a kill. X9J falls low as well, and no value after that, but just gonna heal up, and Hank and all the rest of the teammates respawn to make some show.
Indeed, after that one hypercharge play where you had both Prashant and Yash getting their purple buttons, it just seems like Upcore have kept Revenant Spark out of the harm's way. But Revenant Spark going in, Jay gets the purple button, gets a super as well. He's going to be able to pass the ball. No, Prashant is going to protect the ball there. He tries. Oh, no, Response fixes the ball and uses super instead. Clears the ball for his team, and they are completely knocked out. Revenant Spark completely out of their depth against Upcore Esports in this first one.
I mean, that was very close. It was a really close call, but well defended, honestly. And the ball has been kept in the corner. Sergeant falls low again. Hypercharge Max makes some play. Ball is in the corner, 13 seconds in the clock now. They have to do it in 10 seconds. I don't even think they can reach the ball. And this will be the first game for Upcore Esports and set number 1.
Indeed. What a great start from Upcore Esports. I feel that it was relatively something that I did not expect. I felt like Revenant X Spark had a proper game plan in mind, but Upcore Esports completely bamboozled them. I feel like that is the power of Kenji in this meta, and certainly it's going to get a nerf in the upcoming balance changes.
For sure. I mean, this brawler was just devastating and a nightmare for anyone they face. I've been pretty, surprised Kenji not being banned, and it has been picked. And I mean, it's surely gonna be a plus point for them because this brawler is just devastating facing in close range. A little bit of wall break and cross break coming up from the Griff, and they secure for the first goal. It's pretty early goal coming up from Revenant this time. Really nice situation for them this game, and they really made it this time.
And a great start actually for Revenant X Spark. They needed this here. Oh, nice kill from Response with that super. He pops his hypercharge, so does Sergeant. Sergeant goes in with that super. Is able to get a little bit of value, but there is a super coming in from Yush. He manages to clear the ball, and I think Revenant X Spark might be in a great position to get a goal, but the ball was passed to the wrong person. Now Sergeant able to walk this one in quite comfortably. It is now tied at 1 apiece, and it's going to be anybody's game as we go into set number 3.
Yeah, they seemed really comfortable this time. They managed and they knew the play style, how they're going to.
Never mind. That was tied at 1 apiece in the set. It's not okay. Yeah, I'm dumb.
Yeah,
I'm dumb.
Yeah, no problem. It happens, and I'm really excited to see the third game because Revenant X Spark really did that math really well this time, and they didn't even get them a chance to even grab the ball. Really well played this time, and we are in the third match of set number 1 already. Kill on Surgeon, very early one. There's Yash only standing alone. Now 2 more teammates survives and come back to the spawn. Ash King has the ball. Not much value coming up, but the wall break has been done very beautifully. You can see there's not even a single wall rift right there. It's Sergeant with the super to heal up some shots. Sergeant. Prashant is low as well. He's gonna go to get that ball, and I think they're gonna make some pressure in the win. There's no lane matchup I'm gonna see. There's no one playing really lane. No. They just.
Yeah, sorry. I just saw Response pop his hypercharge, get taken out almost immediately there. That was unfortunate for him. While being passed out by Ash King here, there is a little bit of a skirmish happening between Prashant and Response, where Prashant gets a better Response, but oh no, Sergeant taking him out. Hypercharge coming in from Yush, and you're going to see all those robotic rats coming in and being a big nuisance, but Revenant are in a pretty decent position here, though Hypercharge Kenji is available. Ash King also uses his Hypercharge. Kenji can opt to go for the purple button and completely taking him out, and I feel like that was probably one of the best opportunities for him to do so.
I mean, they really want that perfect time and they can grab 3 with that hypercharge, because it's really, really useful when it comes to team by potential. And he probably needs that blood that he's looking for. They're going to keep the ball in the safe side. They're going to make some play and make some space for the team to move on. Strashan still looking very dangerous with the hypercharge coming up their response. Hypercharge coming in from Trashan, gets 2 in this clash. Not even a single kill. As of now, Sergeant has a super. Hypercharge coming in from Yash. The rats are coming in. They are looking like an army, creating so much value. Super coming up, clears that all, but Prashant will find a goal.
That's great. Prashant got so much of value with that hypercharge double super as well, and now he's pretty close to his next hypercharge as well. Just having that purple button ready creates so much of pressure. Now started popping his own, going in. He has a super, should be able to take down Yash, has slowed him down, but has created enough room and enough of a problem. Prashant going in once more, and he has managed to keep Response away, though Response is going to be trying to walk this one in. Can he manage to do so? No, does not get bamboozled, and it is going to go the way of Revenant Esports in game number 1. Sorry, set number 1. Or am I wrong?
Beautifully done. I mean, the first game, you weren't expecting that this matchup, they're going to get it like that. They did the math, while the second game, the communication was there this time. The max value with this hypercharge was really great. And the healings coming up from the Hank kept him alive, even during the hypercharge play from the Kenji from the opponent side. Very well done this time. And Revenant X Spark takes set number 1 on Brawl Ball.
Yeah, that was beautifully done by actually Upcore Esports. I was getting confused as well because we have the production with the names separately. So it's actually Upcore Esports that took it 2-1. So well played to Upcore Esports. It really did come down to whenever Prashant got his hypercharge, and whenever he did get it, he completely decimated the other team. He pulled them in together. So beautiful stuff coming in from them. We're gonna go into set number 2, and it seems like the Gods of Luck have given us Hard Rock Mine.
Yeah, I mean, really great. Another map, it really teaches well how to pick up your lane, even for low players. It really is a great map because you have some push in the, right hand corner where you can just sneak in and get into. You just try to find your way to get the spawn and get the pressure, up in the backside. And I am really expecting a B pick. I hope she doesn't get banned here. And yeah, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, on this map, right, you especially want to run a lot of these sort of brawlers that can ricochet shots. So something like Rico, maybe even the Ruffs as well. But some brawlers that I really like in this meta right now globally is Gray. I feel like Gray, once you put those portals down, you're able to get to the mid. Once you have the hypercharge portal, that means you get the shield as well to boost. So there are lots of different opportunities for Gray compositions where you can go for aggro, you can go for assassin type compositions, you can even go for control. So it really depends on the flavor that the teams are opting for as they decide to go and draft in the second set, which is Hard Rock Mine.
I'm really expecting to see an Ash pick again from Yash because I really know his play style. He's a pretty aggressive player, but you never know. These are the brawlers that are in the hands of pro players, and you never know how they're going to make use of it. As you mentioned about the Grey, the portals are really nice way to, just sneak in and, just teleport instantly on top of a brawler. You can have a Jackie. You used to see that Grey Jackie comp. We even also get to see that, in the Brawl Cup recently, and we were not really expecting that. You never know. We might get to see a Hank as well along with that, or a Kenji should be banned this time. Let's see how the rough goes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are lots of different ideas that you could go with. One of the things about the meta, which a lot of people complain about, is there are all these brawlers at the top of the meta. But I feel like with the way the brawler selection has become more diverse, you have a lot of different ideas that you can bring into the draft. So honestly, you just got to keep trying out different ideas. Even if they're wacky, sometimes something might click. And I feel that's where being experimental might be better than being a bit conservative. Because if you're not going to experiment, how do you get used to the new meta, right?
Exactly. You never know what kind of surprises these pro players can come up with, and they've been practicing in the scrims for a very long time. You never know what they're cooking from inside, There are a bunch of different comps that can go here, but we still don't know which one they're going to go. Is it going to be a very, familiar one, that OG comp that we all know, or is it going to be something that they cooked with the new meta recently? And maybe a Griff, maybe a, Charlie is a brawler that has been very underrated throughout, but I got to see a Charlie here in this matchup. So is it going to be there? Bans, we're going to see Gray, that we were talking about already. A Jackie band as well. They probably were thinking about that. Bow band as well, pretty nice one. You can just put the turret, get the super real quick, and the bow mines are really annoying, especially with the hypercharge on the gem spawn. Kenji is banned as well in the equation.
Yeah, what I do notice that is that the Griff isn't banned out. I like the Gus. I think Gus is really great. But I feel like this composition, it lends itself to the great compositions. Sorry, Gus compositions lend themselves to a lot more support-based play, and you're going to get a lot more tanks. I like the pickup from Revenant Spark with Jaeyoung. You have the adaptability, so you can opt to go for a very aggressive sort of play style where you get that speed up, or you're able to help your tanks or your assassins go really fast in one specific channel, or you could get the heals as well and have a lot of sustain in the mid. Overall, I think Jaeyoung is probably one of the better supports. You look at response, he's going for Lumi. Lumi has fallen off a little bit in the meta, but I don't think that the stun can be understated. I feel like Lumi is so great for area control, especially once you get her projectiles down and use those gadgets. It's a Lulu ice ring for no reason, for free. So I like this Lumi pick. It is so centralizing and a very important pick for Revenant Spark.
Yeah, I mean, I really respect Lumi's gadget. You just don't want to fall inside of that. It's basically a kill if you just fall in there. Sergeant with Jaeyoung, I really like that when it comes to a brawl that can give you support, speed, and everything you basically need in any kind of matchup. So Sean with the shade though. We gotta see a lot of shade in the
Hmm.
brawler, as but the toxic lotus was going crazy on this brawler, and I think they're gonna do something similar. He has the speed with his super. He can just farm again and again, just dash through and just get some shots behind the wall and ashking with the. I mean, that's a beautiful pick, honestly. Carl is one of the most annoying brawlers
Wow.
when it comes to, oh, we have a tank and it's gonna be Frank. I don't
Yep.
know how they're gonna deal with the Frank though, because
It's
uh,
it's looking kind of disturbing for Upcore because now Revenant Spark, they have the healing, they have the damage, they have the HP, they have double stun capabilities, and Upcore Esports, well, they have a flying hook. That's the only utility to get in and out. So they need to be 100% sure that they are keyed in, because if you give Revenant Spark even an inch, they're going to take a mile here, AJ.
yeah, Upcore Esports at this point can't afford to miss any shots at this moment. Okay, first chance pick by Raven and X Spark. We already have the match in. Lumi is going to be very annoying. Jae with the speed as Phil on the line. Prashant gets his super, puts it in, gets a
Ooh.
kill on Jae. Beautifully done. That shot really connected well. 3 gems dropped down. Frank is
no.
doing his job, puts the gadget and gets the kill. This is a co-spirit in the storm. He didn't get the damage there. Ash King on the left-hand side of the map, kind of annoying those brawlers. Gets stunned by Lumi, gets a kill.
Nice.
Josh has a super.
Amazing stuff coming in from both the teams here. It is a little bit of a mano a mano in the mid. Not a mano a mano, but I would say a stalemate in the mid. Ooh, nice gadget from Prashant. Gets a kill on an H9J. Ash King doubling down, gets a kill on a Sergeant. Now, Response has to hold the line. He tries to do something, gets taken out as the third member on that team. Flying Hook coming in along with the purple button. Huge super double kill, and Ash King is nowhere to be found. Revenant Spark in shambles.
He survived that. The beautiful super coming off from the car. Yash has the shield as well coming off from the Gus, and he has the potential to just dash to the walls and get the kill. Jae Lumi gets a kill. Ash King trying to find some blood. He gets a kill as well. He puts the flying hook. He survives.
Oh my
He gets a
God.
kill. Oh my goodness me! What did he just do?
How do you
That was
recover
his
all those
beautiful
gems?
stuff.
Response, nice pull, but he gets taken out. Now, Yash trying to hold the line, gets the kill. All the gems are safely with Ash King, Prashant, and Yash. They're split 3 ways, but 2 kills are required, both onto Yash and Ash King for this to be reset. It's not looking good for Revenant. They're nowhere to be seen. Sergeant is slowly moving up Response is slowly moving up the map, but it's not going to matter as Prashant, adding insult to injury, pops his purple button and puts Response 6 feet under.
I mean, that was beautifully done. Like that movement from the car, he gets the kill, he gets the super, he survives. That's the main thing. He survives its Frank gadget as well. Didn't get pulled out, and that was just absolutely brilliant. World class gameplay coming up from Upcore side.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy how clean Upcore Esports were. There was a moment where I felt like Revenant Spark might have been out of their depth, and then they were able to come back. They got those gems, and everything turned out differently. But the first game going to Upcore Esports is huge, as they already have the first set. But now we see Revenant Spark cleaning up members one by one. We see Response going in on Ash King, gets a stun as well. They should be able to take down Ash King. All of the marks are down, and now it's looking great for Revenant Spark as they have full area control in this mid here, AJ.
Yeah, but you never know these players. They just all team vibe is all what they need, or brawler that having all the gems on the line. Yash has his super. He tries to flash it in. Response with the super, no connection.
Nice.
Clears up a bit of walls. And Ash King is trying to connect some shots on the Hakal. He really needs that hypercharge once again to get some damage in the very last moment when they, try to go to the spawn with all the gems that they have. Trashant has his hypercharge as well. Might give it to Yash when he gets his super. Yash falls down, and Trashant gets done by the Lumi as well, falls down as well. Really great play from Raven in this time. 7 gems to 4 now. Picks another 8 gems. Really good start. Ash King has a hypercharge along with Yash. Yash has the super, uses it and gets the shield from the cast, goes down. Beautifully done this time.
I have no clue how Yash got the better response in that interaction at all. Now he's using the walls just to keep response at bay. Manages to jump out when he saw response using that super. Ooh, stun coming on him for Sean. This is why you want that Lumi. But we have Ashton collecting all the gems, reclaiming the gems. They have the mid as well. Though there is a little bit of aggression coming from Revenant Spark. They have the 9th gem. Just need one more to start the countdown. They get the kill on Ashton, which is huge. But that's exactly what Upcore Esports kind of want in this situation. They don't want all the gems to be on the aggro player. It opens up and frees Ash King and Yush go very aggro. They take down response. That's exactly what they need. 10 seconds left. Response and Revenant need to hold this line. 10 gems on an X9J. 4 seconds left. Nobody on Upcore Esports to be seen, but they managed to get the 10th gem. Yush caught in an awkward position here. He is going to be very susceptible to being taken out, but manages to survive. Oh no! The gadget comes online. Yush gets taken out. There is going to be a small bit of a reset here. It's going to go the way of Revenant Spark, but Prashant manages to pick up one more gem just to keep them in line. Ashkin gets a kill, but he gets stunned. Response has his hypercharge popped. He tries to go in for the pull, not able to do so. Goes for the no super there. 13 gems, 12 each on either side, and now Revenant have control.
That's going nasty. That's absolute cinema right there. You know, the kills, the precision from the Gus was beautiful enough to get the kill. They need still 2 gems. 5 seconds is not enough for the spawn to give them 2. And Revenant X Spark should be able to get this one very easily. This was a very beautiful one. Like, I mean, precision from the Gus was beautiful. He was getting the taps. He was using the gadget to keep him low. But unfortunately, they couldn't make it out this one.
Indeed, that was a little bit of a sticky situation for them to be in, and it's going to be tied at 1 apiece, though it's still not over. Upcore Esports need this win here. If they do get this, they're going to be 2 up against Revenant Esports. And Revenant Spark, you don't really expect to be 2 up against a team like that in this region. And already we're going to go into game number 3. A good start for Revenant Spark here. They have a lot of control. A kill on an Ash King, and now the right side of the bushes are controlled and owned by Revenant Spark. Yush narrowly and masterfully dodging and avoiding response there. That's crazy.
That Lumi in the right hand side is very dangerous for them. Pretty annoying as well at the same time. The gadget's coming up from Lumi. Ash King has to use a flying hook to escape that thing. Jae Yong with the 5 and response flashes is super. He knows it can connect it well, but Yash gets a kill. He falls low and gets the gems as well. This is beautiful. The play was there. He was in the walls getting the slaps on response, and Jae Yong beautifully played, but Lumi is still a problem. Puts the gadget again. He gets the stun. He doesn't, because Yash manages to escape through the walls.
Ooh, response goes in with a gadget. He's able to get a pull, gets the reset as well. Ooh, but kills are coming around a lot. Now Ashkin trying to pick up the slack here. He goes in with a flying hook. Sergeant masterfully dodging them, bobbing and weaving and keeping them at bay. Sergeant is going to be there holding the line of sight here. Otherwise, response might be taken out. Ashkin is going to be very high on the hunt here. He goes in with his hypercharge. He goes in, is able to find the kill onto response, but he's going to be taken out by X9J. And the stun is not going to be connecting from X9J on a Ashkin. But the reset is there still for Revenant, and they can hold the line here. They have all this utility. They have all their supers. All they got to do is connect, and that's exactly what doesn't happen here. 7 seconds left. Ash King is going on the hunt here. He's trying to get response, but a double kill for response is huge. There is a reset, though, unfortunately, for Revenant, and we can do this dance one more time for Upcore Esports.
Oh my goodness, that was beautifully done. Ash King, that flying hook was so required when he was falling low and he was having all the gems. It's 4 seconds in the clock and it should be enough. Yash has his gadget slap. It is not enough to take down X9J with the 16 gems on the line. Really well done. I mean, Upcore really did a great job doing that reset again and again, but they didn't have enough damage, in the very last second, or, just escape mechanism was not there, considering the fact that Ash King had used his gadget, the flying hook gadget already just to reach them out. He couldn't escape in the right time, and the gadget from Frank pulls him and gets the kill, and that's exactly what they needed at the last moment.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the stats a little bit. I don't remember it now because I'm kind of, shorts. I have like short-term memory loss, but I saw 7 kills from Yash, and 7 kills from a Shade on that map with the matchups that he has specifically. That is kind of crazy. That is kind of insane. I feel like Upcore did perform at a level that Revenant did not initially anticipate, but Revenant is a team which is so seasoned. You have these players who have been to multiple international LAN events, multiple world finals, and ex-world champion from 2020. And you have this ensemble that can be in very difficult situations, but still manage not to, completely buckle under the pressure. So great job coming in from Revenant Spark. And now the set is going to be tied at 1 apiece here.
I think the draft was not just at the point, Revenant having that Frank, that Lumi, the gadget was enough, and the speed coming up from the Jaeyong. I didn't get a lot of, healing plays coming up from the Jaeyong. The speed is exactly what the Frank specifically needed, and not much connections from the Frank as well, but he broke open a lot of walls in grass in the left-hand side of the spawn. But the Shade was just rushing here and there and getting those stabs, and 7 kills for a Shade in that map was beautiful play. But it's not enough to keep them alive in the second set, and Revenant X Spark will take set number 2 as well.
Indeed, beautiful stuff. Actually, I feel like I underestimated Upcore Esports. We just keep on hearing about Revenant, and the global scene, but Upcore Esports definitely a team to watch out here, especially towards qualification for LCQ later on in this year, as a qualification for the BSC World Finals and LCQ, obviously. So both these teams are teams that are to be watched out for. I feel like we're getting the grand finals caliber match in the first match of the day and the first match of the tournament, which is kind of crazy already.
Yeah, I mean, Revenant has always been in the spotlight, the global recognition and the players coming up from that side, But Upcore or any other team in the whole tournament is, you just can't underestimate it. And I think you should watch out what they can come up with. You never know, a reverse sweep. And maybe next 3 set, for Upcore Esports, it's just unpredictable. But we're going to see. We're going to head on to Hot Zone, and we still don't know the map. It will be the Match Reno, rotation. So we still don't know that. We're going to see the draft pretty soon, and we'll get to know. And I'm really, I really personally want to see the show of Ring of Fire, because it's a really fun map to see. But yeah, let's see how the team goes and how they draft, and how they predict the math from the upcoming team that they face.
Indeed, and we have the 4 maps for Hot Zone: Dueling Beetles, Open Business. Don't remember that. Open Zone and Ring of Fire. So these are the 4 maps, and I feel like with how we have our maps in Hot Zone, there are lots of different ideas involved, right? With Ring of Fire, the map is more open, but there is a little bit of a grass on either side where you can infiltrate if you're an assassin or if you're one of those more aggressive, hyper-aggressive brawlers to be big distractions. For Dueling Beetles, you have those walls in the mid, which allow for huge brawlers like throwers like Barry to complement each other with, let's say, a Frank or maybe a Hank or whatever. So you get those heals going. You get the Barley as well for a lot of the cover, or you can opt for something like, I don't know, Lou. I feel like Lou is one of the best brawlers to ice out the mid, have a lot more area control, and push tanks out of the reckoning on maps such as that. So a lot of different paradigms that people could opt for with the draft, and I'm looking forward to seeing how both of these teams play that chess as we go into our next draft.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm also expecting about, I mean, as you mentioned, Perry is a brawler, and I think he's pretty good in all of the Hot Zone matches, all the Hot Zone maps as of now. And we got the OG map right in front of us, and I'm really expecting a thrower, and there should be a thrower. They can go for a Penny as well. That turret on the side is going to be very annoying, and they have to deal with it. And there can be a Barley, which is really a good area control brawler. Not just that, on top of that, he also has his healing gadgets, and Perry is also an option. But we're going to see Hang banned out, P banned out, Lou for the area control banned out as well. I mean, Kenji makes sense, and Lumi and Draco is really interesting ban because you have that
Yeah.
immunity. You can just pop up the gadget and heal up again and again with the star power, and it's very annoying brawler to
Ooh.
face if you can just we have Trev, the hypercharge is something I'm looking for. Chaeyoung also
Mhm.
coming up from Revenant Expert to get that speed and healing at the same time.
Yeah, what I like about this Griff here is that it satisfies a dual role here, right? Once you put down your piggyback, you're able to break those breakable walls. It opens up a whole side of the map, and it makes it harder for brawlers like Barley or Barry, which don't have as much range to operate. I feel like a Juju would still do pretty good here because of the grass, but if you're able to remove the grass for Juju for whatever reason, then yeah, I feel like Griff is a great answer to a lot of different thrower options that you might bring just because of his gadget. But a secondary reason as to why you want to bring it out is that Jaeyoung can heal, right? And it can provide a lot of support
Yeah.
to tank brawlers that come to the fore. And I feel like the hypercharge for the Griff is going to be able to address a lot of the tanky options. And we see Revenant and Spark going for the Buster. I feel like that is a pretty decent response, but they have to be careful, right? I feel like Upcore Esports need to be 100% on the buzzer all the time with that Buster, because once that montage comes down, you're going to be feeding yourself the damage from yourself. So that's unfortunate. But response going in for that Amber is great. The hypercharge has so much of value that it can bring. The entire map becomes like an oil slick, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the Buster response on Yosh because you can just dish out all the damage back to the opponent, especially coming up that Griff has his hypercharge, and you really don't want that connection on yourself, right? And Prashant with the thrower, it can be, it's like a response to Buster because the shield is in, get rid of the damage that you get from the throwers. Lola is an interesting pick. I'm not really sure about that pick, honestly, but the hypercharge is still a concern for them because the Lola hypercharge, you just throw it, you put the shield, and the ego is just it heals as well. And I'm not really sure, but I really like the Buster pick, and response with the oil on the floor will be great with that hypercharge. You can just pretty much clear all the grass at once, and the match has been started. On to you, Panda.
Yeah, this is going to be the third set here. We're tied at 1 apiece, and it's a parity now. All teams are back to 0, as this set now becomes a very important and pivotal set. Some kills coming all around. Yash gets killed on response, which is actually huge. Once all the members go down, it's very hard on a map such as this to get back onto control here. And we finally have the Buster. Buster is going to be able to put down the montage and keep people at bay, but the healing is not going to be enough from Jaeyoung just yet. And already we have a great start coming in from Upcore Esports. Revenant X-Bar kind of outclassed at the early game.
I mean, yeah, super coming up from Ash. Beautiful connection. X9J falls down. Sergeant looking for a gadget pull, maybe. Falls down to Lola as well. Healing coming up from Yash constantly to keep them alive. Ash King falls down as well to response. His low, he has to back off. 1 HP away. Sergeant, beautiful hypercharge, gets the wall breaks. Gets the grass break, and he clears up everything. And they're pretty good position actually. Responds with the super, gets connection on Ash, but he still heals with his gadget, and they have to back off 67 to 24% now. And Sergeant is looking for a super and gadget, and it's not there yet. Now gets the super, keep them behind, but Yash can just deal damage on top of that.
Yeah, I know casters shouldn't be talking about draft, right? That's how the meme goes. But I feel like I really need to talk about this draft here. You have all these throwers and whatever on the side of Upcore Esports, but where's the response from Revenant? I know there's a player called response there, but I don't see the gray. Or I don't see a pull. I don't see a brawler that can completely address the opposition that they're going up against, and which is why Upcore Esports took the dub in game number 1. They're looking quite solid, I have to say. But Revenant is a team that is not going to back down to the challenge. They are a team that is up to the test.
The last push that they got in the last game, Revenant exactly needed that in the beginning itself of the previous game, but they still have a game to make sure that they can get the set. And let's see how they address this time. Response is trying to find a super, because that oil that Yash is a very fragile brawler to be spoken, and but the healings is keeping up again and again because he has the gadget and the cooldown is not that much for Barley gadget, and Sergeant probably looking for a pull, gets a pull, but not much value coming up. So Response also has a super, puts it in, gets a connection on Lola Ego and
Wow.
Ash King, but he still has the healings on the line.
Yeah, it's still a pretty even game though. Response going ham. He gets a kill on an Ash King here. Oh, but he goes down once again, and we saw that happening in the previous game, and that might be unfortunate for them. But right now, it seems pretty even in the mid. Big kills coming in from Prashant on the X9J. He has his hypercharge. He has another Megalomaniac as well. Amber should be able to get him down if he's careful enough, but not going to be able to do so. And once more, we're seeing Upcore Esports slowly but surely cementing themselves on this hot zone in the mid here, AJ.
I mean, beautiful stuff right there. Yash again and again, keeping them alive with the gadget, but the gadget doesn't reach Ash King. He falls almost low, goes down to the Response super. Sergeant has a super. He's really looking for the hypercharge. Yash with the hypercharge as well, pops it in. No connection as of now. X9J has a super as well. It's gonna give the healing, and Sergeant really needs that hypercharge to make things work, just to dish out the damage. He puts it in. Yash with the damage. On top of that, Response also puts his hypercharge. It's available. I mean, he puts the hypercharge. He gets a connection on Trashant. He finds the kill as well. Yash is low as well. He needs his healing, but Ash King is gonna be alive, the only one standing tall for his team to get that some percentage on the hot zone. Hypercharge coming in from Sergeant. Really well done this time, 70% to 78 now, looking really good. And I mean, of course, they have to do something. They have to, do a team fight, especially because, Sergeant is going to get a kill there.
God. Sergeant is indomitable. He will not be denied. And he's able to equalize this at 1 apiece, I believe, as we go into game number 3 of the set here. Beautiful stuff coming from Revenant Spark. They were able to address a lot of the issues, which is basically staying alive at the right time. We saw in the game number 1, Response died along with his team when they didn't really need Response to die, and they lost complete control. And once you lose control in this map, it's basically game over. And Revenant Spark, you didn't see them getting team wipe at all in that game, so that's one of their biggest reasons as to why they won. There was also an issue with Ash King being overly aggressive and unnecessarily so, which gave Revenant Spark a lot more control of this mid. We go into game number 3, and this is a momentum defining game here. Whoever wins this one is going to go up in a set here. It might be 2-1 for Revenant or either Upcore.
I see. No one really wants to go near Sergeant because of the shield. But Yash is there to take care of things and find some kills there. 19% to 8% now. Response, they have to back off. They're not looking in a good position because Upcore is holding mid and the zone itself. Sergeant is coming near. He really looking for an opportunity for a pull. I thought there was gonna be a pull on Yash, but it's not gonna be just yet. Response falls down. Ash King falls down as well. Hypercharge, Trashant.
Wow,
is there? Beautifully done. And the healings coming up from Yash again and again, pops it again, and Response has a super, clears up a little bit of grass. No connection with the super though on Yash though, but he doesn't fall down. He still stays alive. Lola Yash gets a kill. Beautifully done.
Yeah, Prashant did not take the bait that Sergeant was putting out for him, knowing his ex-teammate there, but there is going to be a trade here for both the teams here. A little bit of control for the side of Upcore Esports as Response is going to get back onto the mid. Now you have to notice Response has his hypercharge charged up. He doesn't have his super yet, just waiting for the purple button to come online, but when it does, you're certainly going to see at least 1 or 2 kills coming in for Revenant Spark. They have control, they have 10% as well. Hypercharge coming down, it finds one person, so Response not getting the value he's looking for here. And it's not looking that great actually for Revenant Spark, but Jay gets 1 kill. He's trying to find another onto the Barley, not able to do so, and slowly but surely Upcore Esports going up in the score here. Ooh, big hypercharge coming in from Response, and he is not able to find any fire, but has managed to get a little bit of his kindling off on one of the members, which is Ash King.
I mean, there was a big lead and they're going to do it. They just crossed them on the line. Hypercharge coming in. You're from Yash, not much. I mean, from Ash King, not much value coming up from that. Goes down. Trashant is keeping Jay on low, but he falls down as well. Response coming in, gets the kill on Yash. This is looking good for Revenant X Spark. They have to do a team wipe at this point in order to take control. At least have to make them back off, but 70 the percentage is not enough, and 67 to 100 100% is gonna give Revenant a nice set again, and Revenant X Spark takes the win.
That was a huge win for Revenant Sparks. It gives them a one set lead over their opponents, which is Upcore Esports. It sets the momentum, and now they're just one set away from getting the dub against their opponents here. Just looking at the stats, I was going to say, Jay played amazingly, but just look at the amount of damage that he did. 539 to 7 kills. Oh, unfortunately, we don't have all of that. I wanted to screenshot that because you had Yash having 0-0. Obviously, that's not the case, but that's a great screenshot.
I mean, I'm surely gonna see some memes on Twitter probably out of that, but Revenant, no mercy for sure. 3-0 sweep, I believe, because it shows wrong in the bottom. My case, I was 3-0 if I'm not wrong. I did. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. There was Brawl game was taken by Upcore. They're still in the tournament. They still have the life to keep on going, and we're gonna go to the next game mode for that.
Yeah, I believe the next game mode is going to be on Heist, and then we have Bounty at the end.
Yeah.
So Heist, if you look at the map pool... Go ahead.
Yeah, you can say.
Okay. Heist, the map pool is going to be Bridge Too Far, Kaboom Canyon, Pit Stop, and Safe Zone. So these are the options. Not sure which one we're going to be getting. We'll see once we get to the draft screen. But we have a lot of different ideas here for... Heist, right? Bridge Too Far, very long range map. Kaboom Canyon has a lot of grass in the mid, which has a lot of aggression that you have to take care of. Pit Stop, so many walls. You see a lot of shade, lots of Cordelius along with the Hank as well. So a lot of different options that you could go for. And Safe Zone, it is long range ish, but you have a lot of changes with what are expectations in Heist. For example, Heist has changed, right, AJ? We have those invincibility shields every 25% from 75, 50, and 25. You have a shield which pops up for 3 to 4 seconds, which it means that it's invincible for that amount of time. So strategies have changed a little bit, but what is guaranteed is that a lot of die compositions are rewarded. So you're going to see aggressive compositions which incorporate brawlers such as what's the word I'm looking for? Miko, or maybe a Chuck as well. We have our bans. They're going to be Finks, Barry Melody, Daryl, Byron, and the B. So a lot of the long range matchups we see Upcore Esports not really favoring. They are a team which likes to run a lot more of the aggressive compositions, so you don't want to see control coming in from them. I feel like Revenant X Spark is also a little bit on the same kind of wheelhouse there, but they have banned out the Melody. It is interesting that Chuck is open, but Upcore Esports decided not to go for it. I guess they just don't want to run a cheesy composition into such a seasoned team such as Revenant X Spark.
I mean, I really like the call it pick, but keeping that in mind, that's high shape, have that shield, call it as, the damage that you get sometimes. You have to time it so well that, right after the shield, you can just do the hypercharge thing that you did there. Because, the change has impacted call it so much in Heist in general. With the response of Lola coming up, that Ego is going to deal so much damage. And, Sergeant with the Griff pick, I'm not too shabby, pretty nice pick there. And Bonnie is a brawler that we have got to see in the meta again back, especially on this map. We got to see Bonnie picks a lot of time in Brawl Cup as well, and it's pretty interesting to see how the composition is going so far. Considering the Melody is banned, there's no Chuck so far as well, and really excited to see how this goes, and pretty much expecting a Bonnie. Mortis. Please tell me this is not true. Please tell me this is not true. Mortis coming in Heist against Griff and Lola. There is no way.
I mean, it has to be trolling. There is no way. I feel like production is trolling us, because there is no way Mortis is being picked up by either Revenant Spark or Upcore Esports on this map. If Upcore Esports is running Mortis and they happen to win this one, I am giving you, AJ, I'm giving you a Brawl Pass Plus if I see a Mortis in this Heist set. So if you want that Mortis, make sure Prashant picks it and selects it.
Okay, Prashant, all eyes on you. You have to be with that Mortis, okay? Ashkin and X9J still have the last pick. I mean, it's still surprising. Okay, you might want to run a brawler that is very uncommon and not reliable at all. Okay, let's say that's the case. But look at the brawlers that are there in the opponent, and Crave and Lola is just nasty brawler to face as a Mortis. And it's not even like it was the first pick and you didn't see the comp that they're picking, but midway a Mortis pick, and I'm expecting this some kind of mistake for sure. Otherwise,
Yeah, it's
I really need
100%.
that Mortis pick.
It's not. It's okay. I'll be honest. It is not a mistake with production. Production has done exactly what is required. So what happened is, they actually did pick Mortis, and then they dodged. Not sure why that happened. Now, I don't know what the rules specifically state for this tournament, if that's allowed or not. I'm not sure if Revenant Spark would even honor that as a replay. They might just have to go for the same draft, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the admin team and the production team tell us about the path forward. But so far today, we haven't finished, but we are in the midst of our first match here between Upcore Esports and Revenant Spark. It has been a back and forth affair where Upcore Esports took the first set, Revenant Spark narrowly took the second, and the third set was pretty much a stomp, I would say, favoring Revenant Spark as we go into the fourth set here, which is on Heist. Now, if Revenant Spark wins this one, they're going to progress to the upper bracket final and put Upcore Esports in the lower bracket semifinal, which is obviously not what you want in this early stage in the competition. So Upcore Esports have to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, or otherwise they're going to be, sent and relegated to that position.
I mean, yeah, like I'm pretty much guessing it was a misclick, most probably, but I'm not still sure that if it's allowed to dodge like that. And we've been showing the brackets is in front of us, and they might be updating that because I'm pretty much guessing that Revenant X got it, but we're still not sure about that. But the dodge was there, and Mortis was not a pick that. It was definitely not a pick against a Griff, and especially on high. So I'm believing that it was a dodge, and it was probably not a production mistake. And yeah, things have turned around. Honestly, like I wasn't expecting that. I mean, first game Brawl Ball was very quick enough. Upcore took it, and it was nice to see the gem game when the gems were dropping again and again. Last moment they were doing so much. Now that we are here in the fourth stage all the way, the players are still on the camera. I'm not sure if they're gonna make a new lobby for that. And
so there is an update from the production team, and that's in the chat that we're in. It seems like there is a loss which is awarded to the team that drafted Mortis, and I guess in this scenario that would be Upcore Esports, which means I'm guessing that Revenant Spark kept taking it, but we need some more confirmation. But in terms of the rules, it's supposed to be a set loss for dodge, chat, so not 100% sure of what's happening.
I mean, yeah, like the player scams are still there, so probably waiting for some kind of updates there, because otherwise they would have shown the screen where Revenant won. I mean, according to the rules, as per I know, dodging gives you a set loss, and it should be the case at this moment. Revenant, if they get the set win with this kind of scenario, and it's basically a win in the bracket, and they'll head on to the next one.
Yep, it's confirmed. It's going to be a set loss for Revenant Esports. That means we're going to be going into our next match, which is Monarchy versus Synchronic Gaming. But we're going to take a short break of about 3 to 4 minutes before we come back. We're just waiting for the teams to get ready and all that. But thank you so much for sticking with us for so long as we take a short 3-minute break.
Yeah, be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Upcore Champions League. I am your host, Pedicast, Code Pin, joined by the amazing AJ7, and we've finished the first match of the day. We have two more slated for you. In the first match, we had Upcore Esports taking the L against Revenant Spark in a 3-1. It was a pretty back and forth affair, AJ, but I felt like it kind of fizzled out at the end. I felt like it would have been one which went all the way, but unfortunately, Upcore Esports took a set loss due to some issues on their own tournament, which is unfortunate, but they still are there. I mean, if you look at the brackets, they are at the lower bracket, so all the teams have an opportunity of coming back here. But how did you find the first game, and how are you looking forward to the second one?
I mean, it was pretty fun, especially in the gem grab match when it was very chaotic in the last moment where the gems were being picked up again and again. Hot zone was fun as well. There was only one thrower. I was expecting a thrower from each team, but yeah, that thrower was a really important pick. But still, Revenant was able to make out. Brawl Ball, Upcore took it. Pretty quick games, and it was fun to watch that as well. But I was really, really interested to see that fourth set. But unfortunately, things turned out, and we're not getting to see that. And it's going to be a set win, unfortunately, for Revenant and Upcore in their own tournament. They have to go in the lower bracket at that one.
Yeah, indeed. And right now we're going to have Monarchy versus Synchronic Gaming, which promises to be a pretty interesting match because both these teams may not be the top teams in their regions, but are one of the teams which are pretenders to the throne here. If you look at Southeast Asia, Synchronic Gaming is almost always, right behind Revenant Spark. If you look at India, it's a toss-up between Monarchy and Upcore Esports. So a lot of these teams have a good repute. But if you look at the roster of Monarchy, we have Shran, Captain Rocks, and Walkthrough. Shran and Captain Rocks have been no strangers to monthly finals, as has Walkthrough. So they have a lot of capabilities under their belt there. But that being said, on the side of Synchronic Gaming, you have Vex, Hiroshi, and Prime, who've all won several monthly finals by themselves. I feel like it's these three teams and Monarchy separately. So Monarchy really has to, pull out all the stops in order to take down Synchronic Gaming. Though, I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe Synchronic is a little bit washed. I don't know. But that could be said about Monarchy too.
Yeah, I mean, Prime was also there in Revenant Esports and 2023 Brawl Stars World Champions. He was on the stage as the coach as well. He's basically facing the players he was coaching at the moment, and it's going to be fun how they're going to take things out. And Captain Rock's pretty great, is pretty good in terms of drafting and everything. And, these players, the brawlers are in the hands of pro players, of course, and let's see how they're going to make things out and how they're going to make work with it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the same order for all of the game modes. The game modes are going to be the same order every time. We're going to have Brawl Ball into Gem Grab, in a Hot Zone, in a Heist, into Bounty. But the pools are going to be variable, right? They're going to be random. So let's see what map we have on our hands. And I'm not sure what we have. But first up, the set is going to be Brawl Ball. What are the maps today for us, AJ?
I mean, it's the game mode sets are still the same. For maps and Brawl Ball, we have Pinhole Punt, Sneaky Field, Super Beach, and Triple Triple, all interesting OG maps. And in each of the maps, it's great to see these pro players putting up a show. Sneaky Fields, we got to see that in Revenant Spark versus Upcore Esports, and Upcore took that one. Let's see which one we're gonna get this time. And personally rooting for Pinhole Punt because it's really fun to see, honestly, personally for me. But yeah, I definitely don't want to see Sneaky Field again. I want different kind of taste in my popcorn, and let's see how which one we're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bag of tricks, right? You don't know exactly what you're going to be getting here, but let's just talk about what we have in the maps as the teams get ready, because obviously getting the teams, sometimes they're a little bit unruly. A lot of these youngsters, young blood, they got to get into the lobbies and remember, oh yeah, I had to play a match today because TikTok brain, they don't have their attention span all the time. But we have Pinhole Punt, like you mentioned, and this map has some unbreakable walls. There's a lot of grass in the mid. That's something that could really contend with as you are drafting. You want to have a little bit of eyes on the opponents, but the way this map is set up, you are going to have tanks which are going to be flanking on either side, and a mid which is either going to be control or it's going to be very speed based. So expect a lot of max compositions to be. Jae Young is, I think you can't really go wrong with Jae Young, especially once you pop that gadget. The amount of damage that Jae Young does is unprecedented. He could be a duelist, and we saw how good X9J was with the Jae Young when he played today as in Revenant Spark. We saw how good he was at getting those kills repeatedly over and over again. So there is no reason not to bring a brawler like Jae Young in a plethora of maps, especially maps which are semi-open with a little bit of walls which allow and facilitate tank compositions.
Yeah, definitely. And keeping in mind that it's not still sure that it's going to be pinhole pun for us. It can be triple dribble, it can be super beach, it can be sneaky fields as well. And all the maps pretty much with the potential, griff brick potential, honestly. And, we can see some throwers as well, especially in Super Beach, something like Parley or Perry can come up. Jaeyoung, as you mentioned, along with the tank is going to be very, very risky for the opponent brawler to face off. And, will we see a Macy coming up from, these players? Because Super Beach is a map where you can just chain your super again and again with that dash potential along with the super, and we just can't. There are endless possibilities with 91 brawlers in game, and we just can't specifically say that this brawler can be picked or anything. Jaeyoung with the tank, I'm expecting that pretty much, and you never know how it's gonna go.
Indeed. And the other maps that we have, Super Beach and Triple Dribble, right? So on Super Beach, you have a lot of grass. I mean, you have a lot of these walls. You have a little bit of grass. Juju does pretty well there. I think Shade is also a pretty nice pick all around. A little bit of wall breaks could go a long way, but I feel like with the way the gadgets are now that you can't hit gadgets every 10 seconds, the speed at which the map opens up is a lot slower, which favors early aggression and tank composition. So that's something to be cognizant of as you draft here. Triple Dribble as well, lots of walls, which actually makes it much better for brawlers like, say, throwers to operate. But in response, you're going to have more brawlers like Kenji coming out, which can completely ruin you and your composition if you're too heavy on the side of glass cannons, which are brawlers that do a lot of damage but don't really have that HP or the bulk for them to survive, so they get taken out quite easily. So I feel like Kenji is a really good pick in those sorts of situations. But if we're talking about Triple Dribble or Super Beach, I need to know what you think. What do you think are some of the most usual suspects, some of the brawlers that people tend to bring here on this map here, AJ?
I mean, Jackie is a brawler that I want to bring on table because I've been seeing Jackie in competitive a lot of times as well, and Super Beach and Triple Dribble, because the potential with the hypercharge, just you can charge your super, you can just charge your hypercharge very quickly with Jackie, and that speed that you get, every 10 seconds or so, with the speed that you get on Jackie, you can just grab the ball, throw it in, use your super, just pull the enemies and get an easy nice score. But let's see how things goes, because Jackie, there are other counters. You can see Surge as well, not a really popular pick recently on this matchup, but it's really great to counter a tank like Jackie, or there can be a Berry as well, to get those healings. Hank is also a possible pick, but most probably it's gonna get banned, but you never know. And will we get to see a Shade? That's a question, because Triple Dribble, and I've been seeing a lot of Shades here as well.
We should be going into our draft here, just waiting for the teams to just finally get into that situation. But Kaze has come out. That's a new brawler. It's an ultra legendary brawler. 5,500 credits. That's a lot. It's for $50 as well. So that is quite expensive. So I'm just saying, if you happen to buy Kaze, and I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't, but if you happen to buy Kaze, make sure you use code PAN, because I would appreciate that. That would be great.
Definitely. Use code PAN. Yeah, I mean, Kaze, I'm not even sure if it's allowed, because generally in events and when a brawler is just newly introduced, they usually ban that specific brawler. You just can't pick it because people are not aware about the meta much about that, the comms, how to counter her. You have not seen her in the equation a lot of times, not in just competitive competitive side, but even in general
In
in
general,
game,
yeah.
you just don't. Yeah, you just don't know how to deal with that brawler. But we have our draft already, and seems like it's going to be pinhole fun.
Indeed, so that's pretty interesting. We do have a little bit of a confusion as to what the order is. I'm assuming I'm assuming I don't know what's happening, but let's see. Frank is there available, as is Sphinx for Monarchy. The bans are going to be Lou and B and Hank, so a long range threat removed, a lot more control removed, especially there. Kenji is out of the equation, Hank as well, and Lumi. Chester's coming out. I like Chester for that Hank. It addresses the Hank quite effectively. The last pick is going to be with Hiroshi here. So first pick was Frank. That is interesting. Frank, and then we had the Chester to respond to the Frank. I like that. The Jae Young as well is just a generally great brawler all around. But I do like a little bit of this Monarchy draft here. They have so much of aggression with that Amber, just able to put the fire fuel on the ground. The Finks as well. Once you put that super down, it's gonna do so much of damage so fast. Especially, it's gonna speed up those projectiles coming in from the Amber. But on the other side, you have speed. You have all-out aggression from both flanks. I really like the Synchronic Gaming composition. I see the merits of Monarchy, but I like this composition from Synchronic. What about you, AJ?
I mean, I personally think it's pretty evened out. Thinking about the fact that we have a Buster Shield to get rid of those attacks coming from, especially from the Amber, because she just bursts shots, and Amber has the potential. Remember that she can just get rid of all the grass in the middle, especially with the hypercharge with so much area, and can get two possibly on that super. Pretty much even matchup in my opinion, but you never know. Hiroshi is low, Prime almost low as well, falls down almost. Vex coming up with a shield, he already have it. Captain is not being scared, coming with the gadget, doesn't connect. Prime goes down.
Indeed, that's a pretty good start for Monarchy, though now we see Vex going in. He's able to get one kill, gets taken out there. There is a little bit of support coming from Hiroshi. He's trying to mark down Captain, and now he's actually course correcting, just being support for Prime, and I feel like that is what you want to do with Jae Young. You have sufficient range that you can dodge, and your Captain going in, he's trying to get a stun, but not able to do so. He removes a lot of the grass. Hypercharge pop by Vex. He's going in for the hunt as well. It's created a lot of room for his team here. A lot of control for Synchronic, but they haven't made any inroads towards the goal specifically.
Jaws has been destructed in the middle. Vex with the superstar survives, barely survives, gets the speed from Chaeyoung. Prime is looking for blood on Saran, gets the kill. No gadget connection from Saran, he goes down. Oil has been sent, hypercharge coming in, big super. But still, the ball is not much in control. Nice TP coming up from the Fangs. Walk through, stays alive, barely manages to survive there. Captain also healing up, has his hypercharge. It can be devastating if he connects even like one. Saran is still looking for his super once again to just, throw the oil spec on the safe, on the side of the spawn. Hypercharge coming in. He gets stunned though. But even if it would have connected, the steal was there from, Vex with the hypercharge, and it's not going to be enough to give them a goal opportunity.
Beautiful defense coming in from Synchronic Gaming. They used double utility, probably could have avoided doing that, but I feel like given the circumstance, they're pretty happy with how it turned out. Though now they should be able to get a goal here, and Prime just able to walk this one in. Beautiful stuff coming in from Synchronic. A little bit of tiki-taka passing the ball around, but that's what gets in the goal.
Hypercharge, Saran is flashing it, doesn't make use of it on time, and actually, misses it, and the super is there. Gadget popped down by the Frank, gets two, gets the kill. This should be enough to secure a goal in the last 7 seconds of the first game of set number 1.
That was the most unexpected goal I've ever seen. Hypercharge being popped all around. Vex on the right-hand side, the Captain on the left. Vex trying to go in for a goal here. He tries to bamboozle, not able to do so. Walk has the ball, passes it to Captain. They're moving the ball up here, but with 2 kills, 1 kill on a Synchronic, they have to make sure that they, build up a defensive line against this Monarchy side, which really wants this goal, and they do have some utility here.
Yeah, Frank has his hypercharge, may or may not use it for, the stun, but he has also opportunity to pass, and he manages to pass, but he falls down. Finks goes down with the super there. Vex has his gadget popped on. He is finding, a person to be pulled off for a goaling, scoring opportunity. Super coming in, misses it. Walkthrough is low, and Hiroshi finds a goal, and Synchronic finds game number 1.
Dude, beautiful stuff coming in from Synchronic Gaming. So he walked through in some comments, giving some advice to his teammates, probably telling them what to do in the next game to, supplement the issues that they had and the deficiencies, hopefully addressing them. We're going to go into game number 2 here. First one was the way of Synchronic Gaming. It is the first set. It is a best of 5. So still a lot on the line here. I feel like there is enough time for Monarchy to get back here, as they do manage to get 1 kill on a Prime. Next is Vex to fall. And finally, Hiroshi as well taken out. All 3 members down. Monarchy getting the first goal within 20 seconds of the match.
Very early goal. Fink Super coming up as well to just get that projectile speed and the slowdown from opponent. Captain with no connection on the Super. Vex is also trying his, is also farming his cybercharge. He really needs it in front of the Frank. Gets a kill on Saran. It's a scoring opportunity, and they find it.
That was
they
crazy.
Equalize the score.
Yeah, Hiroshi got his gadget, got that extra juice in that speed and damage, and took out his opponent, managing to ensure that he got that goal here. We saw a little bit of an opportunity for Vex to go in with his hypercharge. Just used it to de-incentivize Frank from moving up there. Frank is trying to move up on the right-hand side, has popped his gadget here, but that has forced himself to show his hand. Unfortunately, he's going up against Buster, who's probably a brawler made specifically to counter out all of Frank's abilities. So that is unfortunate here. He tries to go in. Buster doesn't give a D, and he just uses his super here to cancel out that super from Frank. So great stuff coming in for Synchronic Gaming just to keep that line of sight here. But it is still tied at 1 apiece here with a minute to spare before overtime.
Hypercharge from Captain. He falls down without using it. No wall break coming up as well. Vex, it's an easy goal. Walks it in and gets the game number 2. Beautifully done. I mean, this was a better math this time. They really knew how they're gonna make a play, and the gadget, the super timing from Vex was beautiful to just block out the Frank super coming up there. That was beautiful to avoid that scoring opportunity that they almost had. Saran is probably looking for the cross break there in the middle to just clear up things. Captain has this gadget as well, gets a connection. That's a fair trade in the middle.
Indeed. It's looking really good. Ooh, walkthrough going in. Trade coming out. Oh, no, actually, he gets a kill on a Hiroshi. That's huge. And the grass going to be broken on this left-hand side. It is going to be a little bit of a stalemate in the mid, though a bit of an advantage for Monarchy, as they are going to be forcing the issue here.
Still, it's not looking in anyone's favor as of now. Vex has the goal scored. He can just throw the ball away in the corner. They might make a play, before, making a scoring opportunity. Fink Super coming in to slow down things. Ambush dishing so much damage. Gets the kill with the gadget. Super pass coming in, misses it. Still, no wall break coming up because the shield from Buster was enough to stop. Nice defense coming up from Synchronic. Very well done. That timing was beautiful. But Jaeon still finds the kill. Beautifully done. They still have time. 1 minute and 20 seconds in the clock. Vex has his hypercharge. Captain looking for blood with the gadget. He has to find an opportunity. But hypercharge for the Buster is looking good. He pops it in. Oh! Gadget coming in. He pulls. And he gets a goal. 1 minute left in the clock. That was devastating.
That was textbook Buster gameplay. Beautiful stuff coming from Synchronic Gaming. Got that goal there. 54 seconds going into overtime. They want to ensure that they can keep the ball out of Monarchy's way, but Monarchy are not going to be denied here. They go in. There is going to be a wall break on this right-hand side. Possible goal-scoring opportunity. Pass to Captain, and it goes all the way to goal. Oh, beautiful stuff. What a response from Monarchy here, AJ.
Nice ankle break, right? The hypercharge coming in can be big. No connection. Captain gets the kill. Goes down as well. Second hypercharge was dropped down. Saran also with the hypercharge gets the kill. Vex goes down to walk through. They are still living it on the ground. Super from Fangs will give some value, but the team fight potential was there. Super coming in, no connection. No gap was actually found there. Captain has his gadget, pops it in, no connection. Saran gets the kill. 3 seconds on the clock. He doesn't have a super to pass. It should be enough to get game number 3. Beautifully done, Monarchy. Absolutely, just knew it. The timing, the DP timings every time, the gadget popping in very right time was just precision, was just beautifully done. And they deserve it and they take set number one.
Yeah, it seemed like in moments Synchronic had Monarchy on the ropes, but Monarchy pulling the rabbit out of the hat, getting the first set win, it really sets that momentum, and I feel like they're going to be a lot more comfortable going into the rest of this tournament here. We're going to go into set number 2, but just talking about set number 1, I feel like there were moments where both the teams looked like they were going to be taking the entire set, and it just kept on going back and forth. I have to say there were moments though. I've been playing with Captain since 2019, right? I knew him when he was like before Captain Rocks, before he was Cap Thug, before he was all of that. I knew who he was, so I played with him for a long time. And there are so many things that he does which are wrong. One of them was when he was in the Frank, right? He got one kill, but he was like so hungry for the next one. Instead of going back and keeping and retaining control, he decided to go in for the kill and he got taken out himself. But unfortunately for the other team, they weren't able to capitalize on that. But well played by Monarchy on the first set. Gotta say, beautiful stuff. And it looks like Walkthrough is giving a lot more of the IGL sort of situation. Not 100% sure if that is the case, but I feel like with his direction, they're able to get a lot more of their dubs here against their opponents.
I mean, sure, all what matters is winning at the end of the day, and they'll find it, and that's what matters. The gadget timing was not enough from Captain Rocks. No connection. I barely saw any connection on the gadget, other than that, the situation when they were about to score, when he got the 2 kills. But other than that, not much value coming up because all of the gadgets, or you can say the super, was blocked out by the busters from the opposing team. We have the draft coming up already for Gem Grab, and seems like it's going to be double swoosh. What do you think of this?
Double Swoosh is one of my favorite maps from back in the day. It's almost like an antiquated map, but it's still something that people play. There's a lot of grass, and that makes Amber a huge brawler here. What is surprising is that despite all the bans, Amber has escaped the bans, and they've also escaped the first pick from both sides. That is kind of perplexing to me when other regions have decided that Amber is the go-to first pick here. But Synchronic going for the Jet. I don't think Jet is wrong by any means. When you have dropped the base, you're able to scout out where people are. Sharon going in for the Chester. I like that pick here. It's great to address a lot of the tankier options coming out. If you're able to connect that hypercharge onto anybody, they're basically dead. So I think this is a great turnaround opportunity with the Chester. You can't go wrong with a Jay Young. It has been their day in and day out, a perennial showing with this brawler here in the draft.
I mean, Chester with the vision kit will be scary enough for the opposing team because he can just scout out the grass many times when he gets the wide shots, And Janet is a really good pick as well to scout grass because you can just pop the base and, just deal damage. But keeping in mind that Gadget has been nerfed as well for Stu and, a few specific brawlers like Janet as well. Only 10 seconds that you get, on the line. Prime with the hypercharged team-wide potential brawler that is going to be Tara. One massive pull should be enough to change the game in the very last moment as well. Hiroshi with the right pick as well on the pearl. He can just break open some grass as well on the sides.
Honestly, into the Terra, Amber is great into Terra. You can't really do anything if you're a Terra going into Amber. Once you remove the grass from the other side is great. I feel like right now I am the president of the fan club of Amber. I am the pope of the cult of Amber right now. I don't know what is Squeak doing here in this draft.
Oh my goodness,
I get the gadget can find you in the grass, but what is Squeak doing here against this draft here? I'm so confused.
I mean, yeah, Amber was a really have really good potential to scout out grass, get against it, Tara to get those, the shades as well. But Squeak, I mean, you can get the slow down. Yes, you can get the hypercharge. You can connect those shots. You can slow them with the super as well with the star power. But okay, it's gonna pop his gadget in the beginning itself. Tara is Tara is also going in the lane for Squeak. Squeak has an advantage, keeping in mind that he can just deal damage on those shades all the way. Base has been dropped down by Vex. Prime is pretty low. He almost falls down. He still stays alive. Walkthrough gets a kill though.
Beautiful stuff coming in from Monarchy. Very good for an early start. Got so many important kills there. Shran going up against Hiroshi. Should be able to find the kill here. Hiroshi still very much alive, but finally taken out by Shran with a little bit of help from Walkthrough to ensure that was the case. Ooh, stun missed by Captain, which is a little bit stunning if I have to say so myself. Now he's going up against Prime. Should be able to get the kill, but has fed Prime that gravity, which is going to be a little bit of an issue, a thorn in the side for Monarchy towards the end of this round.
Yeah, also Walkthrough is a brawler that can deal damage through, the enemies. He can pierce the shots, and he can also get rid of the Tara shade real quick. But now Tara has a super, really looking for that hypercharge, goes down on the side. Still looking really good for the blue team as of now. 3 gems picked up by Vex again. He's trying to get some good control, but connection on Vex keeps him low, and another connection by Vex. Oh, Saran, no connection as of now. Vex is flying, gets the kill almost. She falls down, gives them free gems. Their countdown is already there. They have to reset. One massive push for Tara. Pearl was there. He goes down to the hypercharge though. Should be enough to take game number 1 of set number 2.
Chat, I think I might have to eat my words. I wasn't a believer in the squeak, but it's working out. Monarchy doing a great job with that squeak. They had the mid on lockdown, and now they're in a great position to possibly win this set and extend their lead by 2-0 already in 2 straight sets against Synchronic. So that would be a devastating blow. Let's see if Synchronic is able to respond to this Monarchy aggression.
I mean, Tara didn't get any hypercharge even by the end of the match. She desperately needs that because it's a very game. I mean, I personally think Tara's super and Bo's super is very game changing, especially in gem grab. And the hypercharge is very much, need for her. Vex goes down, Walkthrough, gets the speed as well. He picks up all the gems, and there were 2 kills in the side from both teams. Hiroshi trying to keep some pressure up alone and the right hand side, Saran with the gadget to keep him behind. He just can't really go against the Squeak with the gadget again and again on the line. Squeak is really working out though. It's just scouting the Ghost really, properly the way he actually needs to. Vex has a super. He might pop it in to stay alive, but is not in a good position. Captain goes down. Vex tries to super. He gets a kill. No one to really collect that. Prime is gonna go there. He has his super, no connection because he was immune. Wrong timing coming up from Prime. Walkthrough is low. He has his healing as the Jaeyong there.
Yeah, Prime. Ooh, a kill on Hiroshi is huge. A little bit of a gem swap there. It's going to favor Monarchy hugely. That was very unfortunate for Synchronic Gaming. They had everything in the driver's seat, but not sure why Hiroshi pushed the issue when he didn't really need to. And it's going to be an 8-5 gem line 3 advantage to Monarchy here as Synchronic trying to get back into the swing of things. But it's a little bit of a stalemate in the mid. No team really trying to force the issue here. I think right now Prime's goal is to get his super and hypercharge from Vex. He's going in on Captain. He should be able to find the kill. He is able to do so. Gets a few gems, Walkthrough, just able to manage to stay alive here. Getting so much damage with that gadget. Just 10 HP to this name, and he hasn't stopped.
I mean, that was a close call. You can't afford to lose at this moment. It's a very crucial time. 9 gems from both teams. It's going to be a very interesting matchup to see because I think it's going to be a pick and grab, reset the time and again. Saran goes down by Hiroshi. They're gonna reset the timer by picking up again a gem. Tara has a hypercharge, and I think it's gonna be very crucial at this point in time. One massive super. He tries to connect on Captain. He gets the kill. I was thinking that he will try to find the person with the gems though. Still 11 on both sides, and it's reset.
Indeed, it's looking pretty even here. Walkthrough goes in, gets one of the gems here. Their hypercharge coming from Captain, but he misses the connection, which is unfortunate. Has kept the brawlers at bay, but that's going to be okay for them at this point right now. It's going to be 13 to 11 gem line, and Synchronic need to get this kill here, but no member really forcing themselves onto the point here. It's going to be game for Monarchy and a set as well. They're going to be up 2-0 in the set score, which is kind of crazy. Already at the start of the game, it seems like Synchronic are on the back foot here.
I mean, I was really expecting that Tara to just throw that hypercharge super on the gem carrier because it could be massive, but he tries to get Captain. He gets the kill though, but no value after that because you just need to go with the objective. But still, who are we to just complain about that? It's just the pro gameplay, and it was really fun seeing equalized gems again and again on the all time. But last moment, it was not just enough for the spawner to give another gem in the last moment.
Indeed. I mean, it was a very back and forth affair, but I think Monarchy are pretty happy with how that turned out. I feel like Walkthrough played amazingly on that Jae Young. He was so instrumental ensuring that he could keep control. And many times I did see his lanes fall, but Walkthrough had the cognizance to ensure that his team were ruddered safely in the safe position. So looking at the brackets here, one more set win is going to put up Monarchy against Revenant Spark, and that's going to ensure that Synchronic have to go up against Upcore Esports as the first match of tomorrow. But right now, we're still on Monarchy versus Synchronic.
I mean, yeah, I'm still looking for the grand finalist. Who is it gonna be in the last? Because we're gonna see one grand finalist name today itself, and the rest of the show is tomorrow. Next matchup, it's gonna be Hot Zone. What do you think of this map? Because the bans are out already, and we coming with the fangs already by Vex. Banned brawlers, or like Kenji is obviously a really good ban because you just can't afford to get Pearl and Hypercharge. Berry, a nice one because you just can't give the healings. It's dirty enough to see a Berry just throwing his ice team again and again to keep that pressure up. Hank and Frank as well banned.
Dude, I still have whiplash from the Brawl Cup. I remember Lukey. He played that Berry like, I don't know, it was an Edgar. He was jumping in with his snooper, going in, getting kills. I remember he had his hypercharge and he won a Frank and got the dub there. The Frank was at full HP and he won the 1v1 with a Berry against a Frank, which is crazy. That's how important Berry is to this map. So that was a really good ban for Synchronic, and Monarchy going in for the B along with the Draco. Now, Draco, I don't mind the Draco, but it has somewhat fallen off in the meta. You have to complement that Draco with a little bit of sustain, and that's where I feel like Jae Young might be brought in by Monarchy, unless Synchronic opt for that Jae Young. They already have Finks, which is a great brawler for a map like this. Now they're going in for the aggression with the Ashe, and that tank is going to be a huge nuisance, especially once you get that hypercharge. I feel like Shran's going to have a very difficult go at it, but so is Walkthrough against that Ashe.
I mean, definitely. Berry is actually a really nice ban. As you mentioned, the Brawl Cup, it was devastating. He was playing Berry just like more like a assassin brawler, and Berry, you just can't expect a player to play Berry like that. Hiroshi with the thrower, similar brawler to Berry. It's gonna keep them low. It's gonna give them the healing time to time with the gadget. It's gonna get the area control as well with the super. Walkthrough. Prime is gonna. It's gonna be dirty on Sauron because Sauron will struggle a lot against the Ashe babies, especially the hypercharged ones. Last pick still left. Will we get to see an Amber? I'm not really sure if it can still go with the comp, but let's see how it goes.
I like this composition from Synchronic Gaming. If you look at their bans, they've taken out both Griff and the Frank. That means a lot of the options to break away walls while being in the meta are out of the table. That means that you're going to have more capabilities for these throwers like Hiroshi or Captain. So that's just going to mean that it's going to be more difficult for Shran, because I don't really think he can really contend against Hiroshi's Barley, which is where you're going to have that thrower matchup of Captain versus Hiroshi. But Captain's not going to be left alone because Prime's going to be chasing him. You're probably going to see a little bit of ring around the rosy with Prime and Captain, and that's where Walkthrough is going to try to defend the Juju. So you're going to have a lot of mind games happening here, but a lot of aggression is going to be guaranteed and promised.
Yeah, for sure. Captain is going to disturb that Vex guy a lot on the Juju because it's gonna put us again and again. Oh my god, okay, great start. First zone has been captured by red team, and as of now no connection, but 7 they're taking the lead. putting the great pressure, and they have the mid control now. They're keeping them on the spawn. Prime is falling low. He has to, respect the fact that Captain has that range while he's in the grass, and he has the super available as well at the moment. Walk through, nice connection on the B gadget. He has a shield and the sting shot. He has to back off though because of the super coming up from Prime. Nice shots coming in. Prime falls almost low. He goes down. The super is down. They walk through also with the sustainability with the gadget, gets the kill, and it's a team vibe. Beautifully done from Team Monarchy.
Great stuff from Monarchy at the start itself. Synchronic in the back foot here. Now we finally do see some of the robotic rats coming in, but Walkthrough is able to walk through them. Now he's going to be walking through Vex as well, finally taking him out. There is a gadget from Hiroshi. He manages to stay alive here, Walkthrough with the gadget as well. Just managed to hang on with the sliver of health here, but now Vex going to go up against Walkthrough on the offensive. There is a hypercharge here. Now it's Walkthrough's time to go down here. Great stuff coming in from Synchronic Gaming. They have so much of control and are slowly but steadily coming back in this game here, though they have to contend with Captain on the back lines here, which is why Vex is going to be forcing the issue.
They're covering up that loss that they had in terms of percentage with a great pressure this time. They can't afford to just lose that at this moment again. Healings coming up from Prime, not enough range to give the healings to Vex, but he doesn't really need that. Okay, this the babies from Ash is gonna trouble Saran and has to back off. Really good pressure this time, 80% to 66% now. Walkthrough has his gadget sustainability, 1% he uses it. Hiroshi Prime with the healings as well. He falls down. Hypercharge coming in should be enough, but they are forced to go to the Juju Super, and Red Team takes game number 1 on Hot Zone.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here. And it seemed like it was quite back and forth, but a good response from the opponents here. But Monarchy still on a situation where they might be able to get a set win here, which will force them in the matchup against Revenant X Spark. But Synchronic with that win are trying to stem and stymie that offensive from Monarchy. Good gadget from Hiroshi to stay alive here, but Walkthrough being very aggressive, going up against Vex should go down here. Vex is going to be forcing his way onto Shran, and now good control from Synchronic, good possession of the hot zone, but Captain getting a pivotal kill here. It's going to be huge, and Shran as well is just going to be able to get on the hot zone, dip his toe in. Lots of robotic rats coming in. A super from Walkthrough here should be able to pop his gadget. He does pop his gadget, gets 1 kill, trying to find the second. Can he find it here? Hiroshi narrowly staying alive, but the gadget manages to polish him off, and that is every member of Synchronic off the point, but Monarchy extending their lead by about 25%.
Precision, the timing, the accuracy, everything top notch. Hypercharge coming in from Vex. Walkthrough stays alive. He has to fall down, leading up to Vex with another hypercharge coming in. Saran has to back off. Captain is actually in the right lane because the cross is more, on the left side, and he can just sneak in with the gadget like he did in the previous time. Healings coming up from Prime. Super from Hiroshi. This is gonna be slowed down. Oh my god, the hypercharge is gonna connect. The slowdown doesn't mean a lot. Hypercharge. Captain goes down to the Eve babies. Ash baby, I'm sorry. This should be enough to secure that 70% onto 45.
That is a really good offensive coming in, but the purple button being popped by Vex, that is huge, but he doesn't get the value he's looking for. Has pushed back the opponents enough, and Hiroshi with a little bit of a saucy gadget here, dodging that powered up B shot, and I don't think they're really forcing the issue here. They can get those kills, and that's a pretty simple win here with that great outdraft from Synchronic Gaming. They are going to be forcing a set number 4 here against their opponents.
Great stuff coming up from both teams actually, but Monarchy really did it well. And the hypercharge from Vex was just almost uncountable. It was just popping it again and again. Every few seconds, you're gonna see a hypercharge coming in, keeping that B behind because it's a one shot. Probably you just can't get rid of that at once. And beautiful stuff coming up, and Monarchy takes the set as well. We're gonna head on to set number 4.
Indeed. And set number 4, we're going to be changing it to Bounty. That's going to be the new game mode for us now. In Bounty, there are 3 maps here, which really depends on the gods of luck. We're going to get either Hideout or Layer Cake or Shooting Star. Now, all three maps have different ways to play them. Hideout has these two very oppressive walls here that you need to play around. It is a map which a lot of pro players do not like playing on because it really does opt for what's the word I'm looking for? Pushing everybody all the way to spawn. That's not a word. Spawn trap. It opts for spawn traps. It opts for very late gameplay. You're going to have a lot of counter plays, especially at the end. So it's all about getting your utilities and using it in the last final 20-30 seconds. That's when you're going to see a lot of the purple buttons being popped all around. Then you have Layer Cake, which is a great map for brawlers like Shade, for brawlers like Buster. Ollie is a great brawler. I haven't seen Ollie at all in this region, which is kind of surprising. I feel like it is specifically on this map, Ollie is a brawler that you can't really go wrong with. And finally, on the last map is going to be Shooting Star. So Shooting Star, very open map, classically the bounty map. I feel like when you think about bounty, the first map that you usually think of is Shooting Star, and a lot of long range brawlers. And we are I was talking about. Never mind, chat. It is
It's gonna be Heist. It's gonna be Heist coming up for the next matchup, actually. And we have the bans and picks already started. Chuck has been banned pretty. It makes sense, actually. Lumi banned out as well. Bo is a very nasty brawler with those Bo mines as well. Has been banned out. Bell and Colette. Colette deals so much damage there. Walkthrough with the brawler that I really like on Heist in general. You have that hook to just get to the point where you actually want to go, and the left hand side of the corner of the map, or maybe just the fire trace gadget, you can just deal damage on the safe. Vex with the melody, and just have to find the opportunity, and you basically melt that safe zone with the hypercharge. Especially Saran gonna give that speed, the damage boost with this turret that the 8-bit provides. And so far so good, I guess.
Indeed. I mean, like, just looking at this draft here, you have a lot of progression coming in from Vex. There is a lot of mid control and some adaptability. I feel like the versatility of Carla is something that cannot be understated. And wow, we have a Barry coming out for Synchronic Gaming. They're going to be 100% complementing this with some kind of tankish brawler as their last pick here. And Monarchy have their own pick. But just looking at the bans, I feel like there is one brawler everybody's forgetting, and that is Miko. Miko is insanely good in the meta right now, but considering that there is a very propped up with both a Daryl and a Melody, Synchronic Gaming have their bases covered. Now Monarchy have to follow suit to find something for themselves, and there you go for the Lily. Lily, great brawler for addressing the Barry. I think that it can do great for getting onto the objective. It's a pretty aggressive draft all around here. The only difference is the amount of damage output that both teams can do is kind of crazy and almost even here.
I mean, yeah, I really like the Berry coming up with Prime on that. Daryl and Melody being a brawler that can just dash out on the safe from a distance. Also Berry, if he gets the opportunity with the super. I mean, Captain has the opportunity, has the potential to get the Berry down on time, if he gets the option. But it's not going to be easy enough for him. He's going to face a hard time to, get rid of those Melody and, Daryl. And he's going to pop his gadget, gets the early kill on the Berry. Super coming up from Vex, gets some damage. Hiroshi has his attack as well, but he has to, he's forced to stay in the sideline of the map. Some damage has been dealt on the blue safe as well, 92%. He's still falling down though, 84% on the red one. Perry dealing so much damage. He deals so much damage even if he puts like 2 or 3 ice cream cones, whatever he throws there. Hiroshi has a super, he's looking for some blood there. Vex also making some play, goes down as well. Oh, beautifully done. The mechanics were there, and the shield from Heist has been popped out.
Indeed, that team wipe from Hiroshi was crazy. That just made even more damage being brought down by Synchronic against the Monarchy safe. They're not done here. Hiroshi still alive. He's kind of crazy here. Captain uses super out of that situation. Vex going in for the safe, and Synchronic have completely decimated that Monarchy safe.
I mean, they have to think something about the defense, because I mean, Melody and a push from Melody, a push from Daryl together can be very hard to defend with the comp they have, even with the Berry healings, or you can just say the damage that he throws on the safe walkthrough. I mean, Captain has his gadget already popped up. Gets the first interaction with Vex. Gets his super. He jumps on the safe, gets some damage. Walkthrough
Ooh.
is there for the defense. They defended well, but damage 25% already dealt on. It's going to 69% now.
Yeah, I feel like Captain is a little bit too focused on Barry. The way you played Lily on this map is. What?
Oh.
He missed his super. He got caught on the
missed the
wall. That's
super.
unfortunate. Vex is going to go in. Now it's Hiroshi, but they managed to kill here. Prime going to go up against Walkthrough, but Walkthrough has picked up the slack for his team there. And finally does get taken out by Prime, but really bad situation for Synchronic Gaming as they are, Monarchy, as they are on the back lines, 60% behind. They still haven't managed to get any damage on the objective. And it's just rolling in even more damage. But as I was saying, one thing about Captain here is I feel like he's playing this really very wrong. Ideally, you would want to farm your super and then jump in on the berry. He tries to go in for the berry, and the intention then is so obvious that the berry is able to get out of it and farms his super and his hypercharge. So I think that Captain needs to address the way he's playing his Lily in the second game here. He goes in, gets a kill on Hiroshi. Good stuff from Captain here, but I feel like already the game is more or less lost.
I mean, great stuff coming up from Synchronic. They're really doing it, in terms of mechanics. They're doing it really well. Prime keeping them alive, also stays alive. A lot of times goes down now. This is a opportunity for a massive push, but Hiroshi will keep them backed up. He goes down with the hypercharge, so Vex is looking for his super as well to just make a play. He uses it. He gets on the safe. He gets some damage, and he knows that 1% is all what they need, and they'll find it, and they take the game. Beautifully done, Synchronic. The draft was really aggressive though, diving in options really well, and they executed it so well. Not just the fact that they just picked it and couldn't make out things, they executed it so well. I mean, there was some nasty positions that the Melody was in a lot of times, but manages to get rid of that with this gadget, get the shield, and beautifully done there.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the way Monarchy played this set and even drafted, I don't mind their draft. I think their draft was actually really good for Lily specifically onto that berry is a very important matchup because that's the way to take it out. And once you get rid of the healer, it's much easier to take out the aggressive options. But the way it was executed was so, I wouldn't say bad, but misadvised. Let's just say that he wasn't advised properly on how to play that because that's what it was. Captain, I don't know what you did there, buddy, but that was not it. Hopefully you address it going into the next future sets. But I felt like in terms of the draft, I don't see anything wrong with Monarchy in that set, but the execution was where it went all sideways. And just looking at the way they approached that set, their approach for the set was also wrong because the objective of the game mode is what? It's heist. You want to go for the heist safe. And time again, you saw them going for the mid control, which is, it's fine for other maps, but for a safe zone where it's already hard to get on the safe, you need to keep consistently getting on the safe. So Captain is the person who's supposed to be able to do that with his gadget. So you either use your super or your gadgets to get onto the safe or do the opposing damage dealer, and that was not happening, which is why we're going to go into set number 5. We're back to parity, but in terms of momentum, Synchronic Gaming have the overwhelming momentum. Let's be honest. They've won 2 straight sets in a row in almost just like 4 straight games. Not really, but almost there. So I think Monarchy are basically quivering in their boots right now, AJ.
I mean, yeah, no doubt about the trap, but I think Monarchy lacked a little bit of defense point of side, if I would say, because the knockback coming up from the big tanky Daryl is just enough to cancel out the super coming up from the Carl, and also the damage, especially with the hypercharge that you get. Also, he was just rolling his gadget. I mean, the Daryl was just on top of the safe and putting up the gadget. Was hypercharged, was dealing so much damage at once. It was taking fraction of seconds to get that a high save, basically 25% each time. We already have the draft for the next one, and seems like it's hideout from Bounty this time, and we already have the drought in the map.
Indeed, we have Gene and Hank coming out with 8-bit for Monarchy. They've also complemented the 8-bit. I mean, 8-bit was used to complement the Carl along with the Gus, so they have long range. They have Carl, which is able to get to the blue star and get out, so that gives them the early lead, and then Captain is going to give them the damage. I don't like this 8-bit at all, honestly, but considering that they're going up against the Gene, maybe the 8-bit turret can tank a pull. I don't know, but I like this Gene pick from Synchronic Gaming. They also have the Hank. They just need to, round it out with either a sustain or maybe another pull. Gray is open. I'm not sure why both these teams haven't opted for Gray. It is such a grid brawler on this map and in this meta specifically. Considering all the bans out here, I'm surprised that they doubled down, but I like this. I like this berry because they're gonna have double healing from maybe the double healing from the Gene and the berry, and it's just gonna give a lot more sustain to the Hank. Hank is gonna be residing in the grass and in the walls, and it's gonna be harder for Monarchy to keep control after they've lost it, which is eventually gonna happen because of that blue star push.
I mean, yeah, keeping in mind that Hank is also a brawler that can heal up by himself as well, coming up with the super. And you just can't afford that berry to get that, grass area. And you need that wall break, honestly. And, the Monarchy just doesn't have wall break by any chance. And they can't do it. And Vex is looking good. He has the healings coming up from Hiroshi. They're gonna farm his super. Hiroshi will get a super eventually while they heal up on that ice cream thing. I mean, Gene is a great pick. One massive pull can be enough to give a nice lead and the most crucial kill that you might require in the last moment. Vex coming up, hypercharge by walkthrough. There's a play.
Oh,
no connection though. Vex is low, but he is getting all the healings that he required. I mean, Synchronic is in a very nice position, but the problem is they're getting outranged. What are they gonna do while being there when the other opponents are just like away and has the lead? They have to make a play coming up on top of them.
Yeah, I think Synchronic are fine with how things are playing out right now. You're just seeing Barry farm his hypercharge. Now he has it, and you have the super from Prime. And this is just look at the way the map is right now. They're in a very awkward set and arrangement of the lanes right now. They're just so afraid of Prime's pull. They're afraid of Hiroshi's hypercharge. He has it. He can go in. Hiroshi almost took a little bit too much of a lick there, which was a bit unfortunate. But 27 seconds, and time seems to be of the essence for Synchronic. They need to get the kill here. They are down by 1 star. Hypercharge being popped by Vex. He goes in here. Hypercharge by Barry, but he gets knocked back here. It's still not goal for... Synchronic manages to get a kill. Vex getting the kill onto the Gus, and 9 seconds left. It's now or never. Monarchy to come back. That was perfectly executed from Synchronic Gaming. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. No mem for Monarchy here. They get taken out. Synchronic Gaming on match point against Monarchy.
That was just, I don't know what I just witnessed right now. Like, Monarchy was playing defense all the time. Like, when they saw that they're not coming to the way, they just cornered themselves to be safe. And then when they saw that they were coming to make a play and just, to get that kill, because they knew they were, losing at that point, they just started moving in the corner of the map as if they were playing hide and seek, and they're just trying to run away from the police. And, it's just not nice to see. And it's shabby to see, like, getting the lead, opponent getting the lead from you while you were just trying to play defense, and it just didn't turn out the way they were thinking. But that last moment scenario was just messed up. It was not even like even in the corner when Captain tried to make a play, he just used his flying hook, went in the matchup. He thought he'll try to get some kill with the super, but he didn't. Currently, pretty much same situation, if I'm not wrong, just like the previous game. It's going so far similar way, the way it was going last time.
Indeed. And what I like about this Barry and Hank pick here is that Barry and Hank don't have to do anything. They don't even care if they're feeding, right? Because the objective here is to get both of them their hypercharge, and they get that through passivity. Ooh, a kill on FX is huge. Now Captain going in, he should be able to get a kill here. No, the super coming in from Hiroshi to just stay alive in that situation. He's still going in quite aggressively. Still quite low though, all things considered. 42 seconds left. It is a 3-star lead for Monarchy. That kill on a Vex was huge, but there are hypercharges in the arsenal for Synchronic Gaming. Kill on a Vex once more, and what is supposed to be the linchpin of the composition is seeming to be the kryptonite.
Oh my goodness. All of them have their hypercharges. Walkthrough has it, uses it, Captain has it as well. Vex is getting all the healings that he required, going very aggressive there, connects a shot with the hypercharge, gets the healing on time. Prime is low, he gets the healing as well, pops the hypercharge, damage booster, but there's some damage potential with the hypercharge as well coming in. Nice pull coming in on gets the kill. That was massive.
Yo, yes!
That
Oh my
was
god.
oh.
It's tied at one apiece. It is tied now. It's double match point. They were able to survive that last berry onslaught with that hypercharge. It's coming down to the wire. You can see it on Walkthrough's face. The dude is wired with adrenaline as we go into our last game of this set. It is set number 5, double match point. The winner of this moves on to the upper bracket final to face off against Revenant Spark. But the loser is still not out of the competition. They have that lower bracket match tomorrow. But now we're going to go back into this match here, AJ.
This is what I'm here for. This is Brawl Esports. You get to see, there's a massive play coming in. Gets the knockback. Healing's coming up from Hiroshi. Vex almost falls half HP. This is a spirit to keep them low, but he still has the healings that they required anytime they want from the berry. Captain falls low as well. Vex kind of making his way, getting his way all the way to their corner, get some damage and farming his hypercharge. Hiroshi will help him get all those healings that he required. Hiroshi already with the hypercharge though. And Jean has a super as well. One nice connection can be enough, but the problem is Jean is alone there, and he just can't pull anyone while being alone there. But Kill coming on Vex, and he falls as well. Big coming up from Monarchy. Not looking nice for Synchronic as of now. They have to do something to make things work.
Yeah, indeed. And right now it's going to hinge on that Gene here. It's all eyes on Prime. He needs to get those pulls, or it's looking great for Monarchy. They do have a 5-star lead, and the Doctor ordered 2 kills here, and the 2 kills are either, it has to be Shran and Captain, because the walkthrough is not going to give them enough stars. So it's a very important situation for Synchronic to really lock in super being popped, super as well from the Barry. There's a kill on a Captain. That's number 1. But Vex goes down in a very pivotal moment. 25 seconds left. Vex is going to be able to come in the end, but a huge kill from Captain here on Hiroshi is going to possibly be Synchronic 16 under. Vex is not even close to his hypercharge here just yet. 14 seconds left. They have to make something happen. 7 stars is the requirement. A kill on a walkthrough is going to be huge, as is Stron, but they decide to go for Captain instead. I'm not sure why. Hypercharge pop by Vex. A kill on a Captain is huge here. They're trying to find Stron. Can they do it? Not going to be possible. Monarchy are able to survive despite the draft dip and get the dub against their opponents here. That was crazy. Keep it cool, Monarchy.
Goodness me, they were just cornering themselves again and again, trying to play safe. They thought they're gonna outrange, but the Berry was giving all the space that Vex required, giving that the path, that red carpet with that healings, and he got the space, but it was not enough, because hypercharge coming off from the Gus, getting that shield was enough to keep them, alive. And the Gene, there was only one pull, if I'm not wrong, that we got to see throughout the set. And that was massive, but it's it's a win is a win, and they get it, and Monarchy takes the win.
Yeah, that was unprecedented. I had already written it off after their first game in this set that it's going to go the way of Synchronic, because Synchronic drafted well. They played the first game really well. But then there were so many moments where, specifically, I have to say Vex. And I'm sorry, I love you, Vex, but you were peeking out a little bit too much. You're saying hi, and they were like, ha, gotcha. And they just got you dead all the time. They didn't even have a pull to do that. You were just caught out in awkward positions where you overcommitted. So unfortunately, that was what undid everything for you. But now what's going to happen is that we're going to see a Revenant X-Spark versus Monarchy upper bracket finals. We're not going to see the end of Synchronic Gaming just yet, or in Upcore Esports. We see them facing off against each other in the lower bracket semi-final, which is going to be tomorrow. But for now, we're going to take a short 3 to 4 minute break and wait for the teams to come and ready up, and we're going to go into Revenant X-Spark / Monarchy as our final match of the day. Once again, I've been Petacast, joined by the amazing AJ7. Make sure to subscribe to AJ7's channel. The link is going to be in the description, and we will see you after a 3-minute break.
Also use code PAN before going,
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Upcore Esports Champions League UCL 2025. I hope you guys are excited. We've had two matches today, which I feel like one of them was a little bit of a surprise outcome. Maybe for me, I don't know. Maybe a chat knows better than me. Maybe people in the region know better than me. But I feel like it was kind of a little bit of an upset there. But all things considered, we have had two matches done. Upcore Esports versus Revenant Spark, which went the way of Revenant Spark when they won it 3-1. Then we have Monarchy versus Synchronic Gaming, which Monarchy took in a 3-2, which was quite surprising. We had two sets won by Monarchy, then two sets by Synchronic, who looked almost fiercely indomitable. They looked like they were not going to be denied. They had a winning draft as well in set number 5, but they managed to capitulate under the pressure. And now, unfortunately for them, they are in the lower bracket. That means that the teams that lost today still have their tournament lives available for them. So no team is going to be eliminated today. All the elimination matches are going to be tomorrow, so you don't have to be worried about that. But right now, we're going to see Revenant X Spark versus Monarchy. And I don't know if you guys know about Revenant X Spark. It has Response, world champion, Sergeant Clash, or world finalist, X9J, and LCQ finalist. So you have a great ensemble of great team players. We saw them participate at the Brawl Cup as well. And now they're going to be going up against Monarchy, which is a great team in their own right. I have to say, a lot of people do discount Monarchy from time to time, but I feel like, you know, Monarchy, having Sharon, Captain Rocks, and Walkthrough are a team that people need to pay more attention to in this region. I feel like Sharon and Captain Rocks are so aggressive on their lanes, but with Walkthrough just maintaining the status quo, it allows them to operate more than they obviously normally can. So beautiful stuff from their team composition for the roles that they play. So I think that it's a well-rounded team. But honestly, you're going up against the best of the best. You're going up against the gold standard of this region. You're going up against the team that defines all other teams for this region at the world stage. So you have a lot against you in terms of the expectations here for Monarchy. But once again, I am your host, I forget my name. I'm your host, Pedicast, joined by the amazing AJ7. Make sure to use code PAN in the shop if you're buying anything in any of the Supercell games. It would be greatly appreciated. And after the shameless plug, which I'm actually not shameful for, let's talk about the game here at hand, AJ.
Yeah, use code PAN first of all. And we have the draft already. Pinhole Point coming on the line for the first set and Brawl Ball. We already have the brawlers picked up from both sides. Not enough time, I guess, to check on the bans. But yeah, we have Jae-Yong on Sergeant. We have Response with a massive, great hypercharge potential brawler that is going to be Chester. This is going to be a Mo. Pretty interesting to see. Not going to lie, I've never seen Mo in the recent times, personally. I mean, Captain has that hypercharge potential to, you know, clear up the grass. And Saran has a super. No Buster this time with opponent to block that out. Walkthrough has his, you know, timer super as well that can slow down things from the opponents.
Indeed. And it's a pretty interesting draft. I honestly don't see this as much as the Mo especially, but let's see how this does play out as we go into our first game. In this first set on the upper bracket finals, Revenant X Spark versus Monarchy. And a great start from Revenant X Spark here. They get 2 kills here, and they have pushed the ball back a little bit. They have control of the mid grass, and now it's a little bit of a stalemate as the members of Revenant come back to the, members of Monarchy come back to the fore. The perspective is shifted, so Revenant is actually the team in red, and Monarchy is the team in blue. So don't get that twisted. It is a little confusing. Ooh, X9J trying to go for a cheeky shot, but gets caught out by a wall, unfortunately.
I mean, that was a great attempt, but if he would have found that angle, he would have actually scored that because there was no one in the goal line. Opportunity coming up from Monarchy, and they find one goal. That will be easy walk in for Captain. He has a super ready. Jae-Yong has a super as well, giving the speed to the team. Sergeant really needs his hypercharge to make things work. Response coming up with a super. Not much value. He has to back off again. Captain is trying to feed them, but cannot get the kill on Respawn. Nice connection there, but he also falls low. X9J has the speed again. Saran trying to find his nice TP coming up from Walkthrough. Gets the kill on Sergeant. X9J also goes down to Captain. And that's great stuff coming up from Monarchy in the first game of Brawl Ball.
Yeah, Sergeant knows his mark. He's going for the hunt. He goes up against Captain. Not 100% sure if he made that connection or not, but has managed to nest himself on the left-hand side here as his teammates come back to the point here. Big super coming from response. He gets pulled and taken out. It's still a 2v2 in the mid. It's a very even game here, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much even. Yeah, right. You know, the grass has been opened as well. Sergeant got one of his hypercharge, gets connected by Captain Super. Looks really nice. As of now, response falls low as well. Walk through with the pass. Wall break coming up from Captain. And it should be easy goal, but Sergeant defends that with that. You know, that was beautiful timing. And lucky enough to get that stun Super on the line. But, you know, still not enough. You know, win that first game off. That's it.
Indeed, that mindfulness and the wherewithal of Surgeon to keep to task. He knew that, you know, it's now or never for him to defend, to get that ball out of the, a bad situation for them. He did do all of that, but it was a little bit indomitable from Monarchy as they completely roll through their opponents. We're going to go to game number 2. Can Revenant and Spark change their favors here? And so far, it doesn't seem to be the case. As response goes in here, he gets a kill, and now Jay is going to be able to pass the ball. The perspective is back to normal. Now the blue team is Revenant and Monarchy is red, just for a little bit of an update.
Yep, I really like the Frank doing his job really nicely there, but there's a kill on both sides, one each, and they're gonna come to the spawn. Captain, really easy walk in there with the ball, trying to make some space. Gets the kill on walkthrough, he goes down. Captain still roaming around with the ball, keeping it aside just to make sure the ball is in safe zone. And even if they make a massive play or some, if they get some kills, the ball is still in the corner. But now handing over to X9J, ball is in a very cheeky position. Saran has the super available from walkthrough. Response makes a play. This is the super coming up from Sergeant. It should be enough to get a goal, and they'll find it.
Yeah, great stuff from Revenant Esports. They put themselves on the map, and that's very important for them, especially against the competition that they're going up against. We did see some moments where they were caught out. Captain, with his pole, was able to get a few cheeky kills here and there. He's trying to go for the wall break here. He should be able to go for the goal. No, there is a reset from response. Nice super to ensure that he could get the knockback here, and Walkthrough puts down that super just to put a little bit of a hazard on the map and to slow down the offensive, or rather counter-offensive, coming from Revenant Esports here. 50 seconds on the clock, and right now Monarchy needs something, and they do exactly that. Double kill is huge, and now Sharon has to do something against X9J. Can he get the kill? He's not. Jay does pop his gadget. That gives him a lot more damage. That's enough for his teammates to get back onto the game here.
That was really a nice gadget coming up from Captain. I really thought it would be a game-changing moment of that time. Hypercharge coming in from Sergeant. Second one dropping on Captain. He gets the kill response. Has a super flashing it. He knows it. It's an easy goal coming up from Revenant X-Spark. Beautifully done, and the hypercharge cheating was so good right there by Sergeant. And it's a pretty easy game that they're gonna take, but it's not looking like it's not similar to the game that we first saw. It's totally different this time.
Yeah, the response was completely mirrored, and now we're tied at 1 apiece in this first set here. So whoever gets this game here is going to be taking the dub. A kill on a Sergeant, huge at the early offset of this game here, but response going to go with the response, I guess, on the Captain, and that's huge. The walkthrough keeping response away, but X9J is going to go up against Sharan, just trying to make their way onto the mid. They want to make a home here, but walkthrough puts down his super and ensures that's not going to be the case, as now Revenant are homeless, and Captain is trying to walk in, but he passes the ball to walkthrough. Not able to get anything going here as he gets taken down, and now we might see a counter-offensive coming in as Jay passes the ball up and onto response here.
Yeah, great stuff coming up from both teams actually denying the opportunities that they were about to give the opponents. Nice gadget coming up from Saran, gets a kill. X9J also falls low. He's gonna stay passive there because he might have got the kill on Saran actually, but they both stays alive. Captain has a super. He really needs a connection, but response, if he gets a super, he also has the potential to escape. He gets it. He just denies the super coming up from the Frank. Easy walk in coming up from walkthrough, and he gets it in.
That was a walkthrough if I've ever seen one. Monarchy with that are on the map here. Hypercharge coming in from Shrine. That's huge. The complete map is set. Oh, not ablaze just yet, but completely with oil. It's going to be locked here. And that means it's a huge hazard. They have to operate around this map. And Shrine is keeping it as long as possible. If the fire damage is there, X9J goes down, but so does Response. The ball's going to be passed to Walkthrough. Can he walk through it once more? Sergeant is going to be there. The ball is going to be passed by Walkthrough, but they aren't able to capitalize. Now all the members of Revenant are back and they're regrouping, and now they have 50 seconds in order to make sure that they can equalize it here. Otherwise, it's going to be curtains for them in this first set.
40-second on the clock now. Captain makes a play with the super. No connection with the gadget as well. X9J giving all the healings that the team is required. Nice pass coming up from Sergeant. Also, the hypercharge should be enough. Captain is with a huge amount of health on the line. No walk-in coming in from Revenant X-Spark this game. 20-second more on the line. X9J has the speed. Captain pops his hypercharge. Will trying to make a play. He gets the gadget. No connection with the hypercharge though. He was right on top of unbreakable wall there. But it's easy enough. 5 seconds on the clock and Monarchy will take the game.
Ooh, a little bit of a consolation kill for Shrine, but it doesn't matter. Monarchy take set number 1 against Revenant X Spark, which again, I feel like it's a little bit unprecedented. I don't expect Revenant X Spark to take any losses really in this region, and they are taking it. That's something that they need to really address going forward. This is early days here, right? They lost the first set, but there are still 4 more sets here, so it's not over till it's over. It's not over till the Fat Panda sings, and I don't think I'm singing right now, Chad.
I mean, yeah, that was a really nice set. Coming up from Monarchy, I mean, dominating number 1 seed in the region feels really great, you know. And Revenant X Spark, they still have a couple of sets to, you know, show off what they got. But Monarchy takes Brawl Ball, and, you know, which mode we are going to have in the next one is going to be, I guess, Heist. And we're going to get some couple of maps already. The pool is there with us. It's gonna be Hot Zone, I guess, if I'm not wrong. We're gonna get
It's Gem Grab.
Ring of Fire. Okay, it's Gem Grab. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry about that. It's gonna be Gem Grab. We have a bunch of maps there that we might get to see. We have Double Swoosh, Tara Potential map, Gem Fort, Hard Rock Mine, and Last Stop as well in the equation that we might get to see, a lot of action, because Gem Grab is always a thrilling mode where, you never know, there can be a massive play in the very last moment, or, equalized gems. And these kind of situations, it's really fun watching Gem Grab in general, because it's one of the most thrilling game mode and, most chaotic, you can say, in a sense. And really excited about that.
Exactly. Like you talked about some of those pop-off plays, right? And we saw so much of that earlier in this tournament. Upcore Esports versus Revenant Sparks. You saw lots of back and forth, the gems changing hands so often, which is kind of crazy. Just looking at the story so far, Revenant X Spark, they went up against Upcore Esports and they won 3-1. There was a set loss, which is awarded to Revenant X Spark, but that's because Upcore Esports decided to dodge for some reason. Unfortunate for them, but Revenant X Spark is going to take any dubs that they get, right? But right here against Monarchy, they're getting pressured by a team which went 3-2 against Synchronic Gaming. So that is something to be concerned about. And I mean, it's still early. Like I said, it's just the first set. But in the lower bracket semifinals, which is going to be tomorrow, we have Upcore Esports versus Synchronic Gaming. That means that we don't have any elimination matches right now. So at least all the teams can breathe a sigh of relief that they're not going out today. But tomorrow, there is no safety net. And right now, Revenant wants to ensure that they don't have an elimination game right off the bat, so they have to go up against Monarchy to get that dub here.
At least we're gonna get to see the grand finalist today itself, which this game is gonna decide. I mean, in general, the whole game between Revenant versus Monarchy draft already in front of us, and we're gonna get into Gem Grab bans coming up. Jean, really nice ban, mid brawler, nice potential, pull a brawler, get all those gems back. Kenji makes sense from both sides, has been banned. Squeak also a really nice ban, because I've seen a lot of Squeak picks, keeping that pressure up and the left hand side of the map. Fangs again, like either he's being pegged or either he's being banned throughout the event. And it pretty much makes sense. He's really good at the time, Chaeyoung has been pegged from Monarchy as well as Response on the Lola. Pretty much, I mean, Lola is pretty good for, you have the damage coming up from the Lola Ego as well, the double damage. Chaeyoung with the speed and healings. What do you think so far?
Honestly, like I said, you can't go wrong with Jae Young. Sergeant coming out with the Pearl. Pearl is so good, especially with all of that heat. Your response also gonna have a lot more guaranteed damage on the point and also on the lane as well. So I think this is okay, but honestly, these aren't really usual drafts that I expect here. I'll be I keep saying it honest, but I'll be honest. Walkthrough coming out with the bow. I like this bow pick here, especially once you get the hypercharge. You're going to get infinite number of these hypercharge mines on the map. So that's something to be considered, especially as you go later on in this game. But bow has fallen off in the meta. I haven't seen a bow being picked as much in the other regions in this month, I would say, especially after the balance changes. Prior to that, there was a use case for Bull quite often, but I feel like he's lost a lot of relevance as of late. And Captain opting for the Otis. Again, Otis is a brawler I don't really see much in the meta. What is the objective here? What is Otis going to be shutting down? There aren't any tanks to feed Otis to give it that damage potential. And X9J going for the Piper. Piper is going to be insane on this map. It's going to be marking down the Otis. It's going to ensure that Walkthrough can't really move up as easily. I feel like the lanes are going to be favoring Revenant Esports a little bit, though with the I guess it's a Gust instead. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Survivability with that Gust shield, the hypercharge with that Gust is really good. I think the Revenant have this draft, but let's see what Monarchy can do with that Jae Young.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Bo has kind of fallen and not being able to see a lot of Bo picks and competitive kind of side in Brawl Esports, honestly. But you still have that potential with the hypercharge. You just throw that nasty hypercharge on the gem port, where the gem spawns. And, either you have to defuse it. And sometimes even if you come from the respawn, you're not aware about it. You just get trapped and you get stunned. I mean, as I said earlier, Bo and Tara, I personally think, has the most, game-changing super. We are in the game. Sergeant falls early. Response goes down as well. This is team wipe already for Monarchy, and Bow Mines has been popped out. They might get diffused with no, value, but it will break open the important walls and grass there.
I mean, that in itself is a lot of value, right? Because you're going to have a lot more range. But great start for Monarchy. They shut down Revenant a lot. And JHR's starting to wiggle here, but he's getting caught out a lot by these shots from Jae Young as well as Shran. And now that right side flank is completely collapsed for the side of Revenant. A stun, mute coming in on a Sergeant. And his teammate Response is next to fall. 7th gem, 8th gem, not going to be collected. 9th is going to be soon to spawn. Monarchy kind of running away with this one. X9J falls by the wayside. Sergeant and Response have to pick up the slack, but it just seems like they're kind of out of their depth here. Sergeant going up against Shran, but the hypercharge hasn't popped. X9J getting stunned. Ooh, complete team wipe. Monarchy running away with this. They have all the gems in their back pocket. Walkthrough is going to be the mark that Revenant need.
That's exactly what I was talking about. The bow mines are still there, doing nasty damage response.
Oh my god.
Again, connection from the bow mine. Nice kill coming up from Captain. They are dominating over one of the best teams in the region. And the damage, and it's pretty surprising to say that, if I'm not wrong, Revenant didn't even pick a single gem. They didn't even get the chance. They were just doing devastating damage. They were holding the lane so well. The shutdown were precise from the Otis as well, and the bow mines, we can't just ignore that, bro. It's just beautifully done and placed.
Sure, we're gonna go into the second game here, and already a start just favors Monarchy as Sergeant goes down. I'm not sure what Jay's intention is here. He gets taken out as well, though there is a casualty on Monarchy side as Shran falls by the wayside as well. Walkthrough has a super, opting not to use it just here. He gets Sergeant down quite low, but Sergeant has a super to pop off his own, which gives him that shield. Now there is a kill on the right-hand side. The Megalomaniac gets diffused, and so does the Mines here. And finally, we see Revenant in a more equitable position than they were before.
Response with the connection with the gadget. captain. It's not enough to get a kill on him, though. Jae also has his healings, will heal his teammates on time to time. Nice puddle coming up from Ortiz. Will keep response low. He is forced to back off. He just can't afford to stay there at the moment. Sergeant makes a play, gets a kill on Saran. Very important kill at the moment. Walkthrough still has 6 gems and Sergeant with 4, and they're doing pretty better this time. They know how to make use of it. X9J with the hypercharge pops it in. Lola Ego, the hypercharge one goes down. Sergeant still looking for blood. He gets a connection on the turret, but hypercharge has been placed again by the bow.
Dude, like I'm surprised how well Monarchy are playing this. I feel like it's a confluence of both Monarchy playing well and Revenant making a lot of boneheaded mistakes. Hypercharge coming in for Sergeant finds a kill, help of Jay. They're able to find a complete team wipe. All the gens going to be collected by Sergeant, and Revenant are running away with this one. Monarchy caught in a very awkward position where they might not be able to win this one and force a game number 3 of the set.
This was big. This is the clutch that they needed. Response with a kill, and it's an easy win that they're gonna take. Beautifully done this time, and the way the Lola just got rid of that hypercharged Ortiz super was beautiful. He just placed it on time, and the Lola Ego got it. And getting after that, the bow mines were not really useful this time. I mean, not much value coming up from that this time, but the clutch is all what you need in gem grab, and that's exactly what I said before the set. Because it's a thrilling matchup whenever it's gem grab, and you just have to respect the comms from both teams, because you never know. It's one massive play and it's enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the Revenant are going in so aggressively. You see them employing, I'll be honest, showdown strategies, going into the bush and hopefully hoping that the bush camp works out. It's not working out for them at all. Walkthrough going in, walking through response, and it's just like Monarchy are running away with this one. 6 gems to 0. Revenant nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, and hypercharged bow mines in another nasty position because they need that wall as well as the grass, and they don't really want to defuse that anytime soon, but they have to do it because the red team, aka Monarchy, has all the gems at the moment. 9-0 now. 1 gem is all what they need to make a reset. Has been picked by Sergeant, picks 2. Still in a nasty position. Walkthrough is a very bad position right now. He falls down, response, but he goes down as well. This could be the end. Super is again dropped down by the bow in a very nice position. 13 seconds. They have to hold. Only 1 brawler they have to defeat.
Oh no!
There's no other option. You have to do it at the moment.
I feel like the miscommunication is so apparent. They are definitely not on VC with each other, because there was no way response wasn't communicated that their minds existed on the right hand side, and that is just a complete collapse in everything from the side of Revenant and Xpark. The team synergy wasn't there. The team play wasn't. The individual plays were dismal. I would say almost like Perrier, and Monarchy just played. I wouldn't say they played the best, but they played to the point. They played their objective, and they ensured that they shut down Revenant and Xpark repeatedly over and over again. So well played by Monarchy, but it's still not over till I sing, chat, because we still have Monarchy to win another set. If they don't win that set, it's possible for Revenant and Xpark to get the fable reverse sweep.
And they're known for reverse. We have seen LCQ as well before the World Finals 2023. Mm-hmm. Revenant is a team, one of the greatest team in the region, and you just can't underestimate. I mean, yeah, you get the energy beating a great team like that 2 sets, in a row, and you get that energy. You feel the confidence, and you have to maintain that. The synergy should be there, and I do believe that they're not in a VC for sure, I guess, but it's not important to talk about that. The main thing is Sergeant also get pink, I guess, because response and his teammates in general are from a different region. But yeah, talking about that, we are in the next matchup on Hot Zone. Fans are coming out. Pretty similar bans. I mean, the only difference is, the Lu, which is a great area control brawler, so is the Lumi, and Hank and B has been banned out.
Yep, Kenji coming out first. I like the Kenji pick here because, one, you don't have the Hank, you don't have the Lu, and you don't have those charge up shots from the B, you don't have the Lumi to stun. I feel like this is like a great situation for Kenji to come out, and coming out first is pretty interesting, but I don't think it's a bad one here. Response going for the Draco. I don't know if I agree with this Draco pick altogether, but now I kind of see the merit because you are complementing that Draco with the Poco, and that gives you a lot more heals, a lot more sustain. You can stay on the hot zone, which is the objective, for much longer. And Sean coming out with the Frank, and Frank, great response to this nucleus of the composition from Revenant Esports. You have the heals and you have the HP, but the sponge is on the other side, and I don't think he's afraid to use the stunning blow to stun you all the oblivion, Revenant X Spark.
I mean, I'm really, excited to see the walkthrough hypercharge plays coming up. We have a healer, and that actually makes sense because there's a Frank, there's a tank in the team, and response. And the other team already has so much sustainability with the, gadget that, response can pop off for the immunity, and X9J with the healings on top of that. You can also heal with the soup again and again. I mean, response. Sergeant coming up with a brawler that can actually counter two of them here. Response, very nice brawler against walkthrough, because one hypercharge, one purple button can be devastating on this map, which has like little area control. You don't have much space there. You have to be in that. That is the objective, and that hypercharge is all what you need at the moment.
Indeed, that purple button is what changes everything. I like this pick from Sargent. He's going to be able to open up the map a lot. It makes it harder for Barry to really operate. But with the amount of tanks on this map, I feel like the Barry is going to be able to get all of those heals and all of those sustain on the mid a lot more effectively than, say, Poco. Poco has been nerfed by that gadget, but Barry not affected by it all that much. We see the lead coming in from Monarchy already here. Super coming in from Shran, and he's going to be able to get those supers very often, along with those hypercharges as well. Lots of value coming in for Jay, but he's not going to be able to get on the point. And just look at this. Revenant are already struggling. A third of the hot zone has already been cleaned by Monarchy, and Revenant not even off the mark just yet.
Great start, and beautifully,
Wow.
the execution of the draft is so well done, especially from the Berry. He's healing on time, he's using the super, he's doing the objective. Sergeant just not able to get his super again. Hypercharge coming in from walkthrough, no connection, gets on response as well as on Sergeant. That is big already enough that they already have such a big lead. The big question is Team Revenant going back home? But we still have another matchup after this.
I don't know, but just, oh my god, double hypercharge supers from Captain to cap it off. 104. The Brawl Cup team, 4% to a team which didn't even qualify for the Brawl Cup. That is crazy. Revenant and Spark on the ropes here right now in the first game off the second set. They really need to change up their strategy, but that Barry, Shran, has been playing insanely, just giving all those heals for his team and just being a menace for that sustainability that he can bring to the table for his team.
Rare footage of a Berry being an assassin, just like Luki did in the Brawl Cup. Beautifully done again, another super. He loses his life there because of low HP there. Walkthrough has a super, can open up some walls there, but is not gonna do so because it's already been in at the side. X9J has a hypercharge, not gonna get some value response, gets connected to the super. Another super coming in, that is big. Not much value there. Hypercharge is available. Goes down. I mean, Sergeant, this time, Revenant is doing far better. But talking about that, they still are in, they still need the lead. They're not even close yet. I mean, they're going to catch up pretty soon, I guess. But they have to maintain this nice hypercharge coming in from Captain. Beautiful. On to you, Panda.
The confluence of skills, the purple buttons from Monarchy coming online at the same time. This is crazy. One more purple button is available. Captain going in on X9J. Should be able to find the kill here. There is a kill coming in on the other side. Complete team wipe once more from a Monarchy. Revenant are in shambles. 10% left. It is over. It is done. It is dusted. It is time for Monarchy to take the dub and move on to the grand finals.
I wasn't expecting that. A 3-0 sweep coming up from Monarchy on a team that is a former world champion, has a world finalist. I mean, Revenant got everything. You just can't underestimate any team. So we can't just underestimate Monarchy. Like we were, kind of doing it in the beginning because everyone had hopes on Revenant, honestly. But Monarchy showed that, it doesn't matter how you start. Finish it like the champs.
Indeed, and that was an unprecedented win for Monarchy because let's be honest, the overwhelming favorites for this tournament are Revenant and X-Spark. Monarchy went and won 3 straight sets against them, and in such a dominating fashion. Like we see 2-0 in Hot Zone, we see 2-1, 2-1, and a lot of the times it felt like there were so many unforced errors by Revenant Esports. Maybe that has something to do with the servers or the ping or whatever, but I feel like in this level of gameplay, you expect a lot more of these situations to happen, so you kind of counterbalance it, but it wasn't the case here. And as a result, Revenant and X-Spark are going to be falling to the lower bracket. They're not going to be eliminated just yet. You still have an option to see the teams that you love to see participate in the next match day. We're going to have Upcore Esports versus Synchronic Gaming, which is going to be game number 1. The winner of that is going to go up against Revenant X-Spark in the lower bracket final. And in the grand final, the winner of that is going to play against Monarchy. It might be a grand finals reset in that scenario. In that scenario, we're going to replay the grand finals to find out who is going to be winning the Upcore Champions League. So still 3, possibly 4 more games available for us tomorrow. But for this match day, on match day number 1, we are through. Just talking about the story here, AJ, what do you think about what we've seen so far?
I mean, it was thrilling so far as, Upcore and Revenant. That's a matchup that we got to see in the beginning itself. And that's something I was been waiting for so long. And things were not right for Upcore in the last moment. That unintentional pick, I guess, and let that segment. It was like a story, all the way to this time. Monarchy in a grand final beating Revenant. It's surprising enough, but yeah, big kudos for them because they really did it, and they really did it in style. 3-0 on Revenant. It's beautiful enough to see that for a team like that, and shining in an event like this.
But great stuff for Monarchy, and we're at the end of the first match day. This is the first time for the production here. I would say for a first time for a production team, beautiful stuff. The overlays look amazing. We have a few things to iron out here and there. We are going to be discussing them after we finish and conclude the stream. But thank you so much to all the production team and all the admin team working behind the scenes to make this event a success. Thank you to Supercell for trusting us with putting on such a show in the first place. So thank you to Supercell and Rebecca and all the team working on the esports department side of things. So thank you there. Thank you to the viewers for coming here today, because we might just be, yapping for nobody, but since you're here, we're yapping for you. So thank you so much for dropping by. Thank you to the pro players for showing us this impeccable gameplay, the suspicious drafts, and the amazing upsets that we got today. And once more, thank you to AJ for being my amazing co-caster. But don't forget to use code PAN, chat. I got my eyes on you. Use code PAN in the Supercell store. All the Supercell games, code PAN, or I am unfollowing every single one. Oh, he got the code PAN there. Nice.
Use code PAN. Get the Kaze. If you're buying Kaze, you make sure to use code PAN. And also wait for the day when code AJ will also work in the shop. But yeah, make sure to use code PAN in the meantime. Okay. I'm not stealing your future code users. But yeah, thanks a lot to the production. It was beautiful. It was nice to make a debut along with the greatest of all, Tanacast. Thanks for being here and giving an opportunity to be a part, in the casting desk with you. It was really fun and beautiful community. Thanks for all the love and support. And we promise that this region will come up with more, and it's a very underrated region, and we'll come up for more, more Brawl stuff, more esports, more competition and future. Just stay tuned.
Yeah, and one more thing before we leave here. Chat, I saw a lot of the messages on the chat, right? We don't have many tournaments here. my request humbly to you is leave all the drama out of this. Enjoy the tournament for what it is. Support all of the teams. We don't get enough tournaments in this region. You gotta show up. You gotta support all the teams. Forget all of the beef. That is out. That goes out the window right now. You're here to support your favorite teams in this region, and hopefully, if this goes well, we get more tournaments down the way. So make sure you come in tomorrow, same place, same time. Walk in chat, get all the copy pastas ready, and get ready to spam because we're going to see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the love and support. See ya, everyone. Good night. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned and yeah, be hydrated. Drink water. Use code PAN.
Also, code Ashlyn made this for me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, she made this.